I've got blue souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Count my bones as in the crumbs spoon. I'm gonna turn all of my stones.
Rock bottom make a man and some pressure make a gemstone. Try to put $1 to my name like Creflo. Naja boy, late to the game, it's in the blood flow. When I'm from the south, it's thick skin and tough bone. Big attitude through big lips with gusto. Trust no kings, that's why they tried to crush souls. But it's IGBO, when the dust blow, this old head be standing there. No silver, just gold. Crack no books on the hustle, I was born to grind. Yo, scared of your potential, I'm adorned with mine. 30 times around the sun, man, of course I shine. My legacy will not dwarf with time. And in my daughter's eyes, it's basic, I must not say quit. Every day sees a present like a Rob St. Nick. Walk a fine line between tenacious and patient. I can't slip, I'm fighting clocks and they can't win.
I've got blue souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Count my bones as in desert crumbs flow. I'm gonna turn all of my stones. I've got blue souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Who that soldier in the mirror? Oh, oh. I'm gonna turn all of my stones.
Impeccably I flow, hardest raps you know, breaking status quo, reaping what I sow, artistry like Django, get it from my mama, hip so thick that I need tempo, personality spicy, body banging like a bongo, cause black women been it since Timbuktu since Pharaoh, sponge rollers and hot combs, lips, cheeks and brow bones, if you ain't for the culture then please stay out of my zone, these little dummy rappers could never grace my headphones, see I'm from a place in space where ain't no storytelling, you just had to have been there, if you want the battle ain't no problem, say where I got so much experience I can't even play fair, but I'ma keep evolving and growing and hurting feelings and showing you need endurance to go in, I got mileage on this pen, I've been busy cause I've been out here schooling all these kids, took 3 decades to have this glow up that I did.
I've got blue souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Count my bones as in desert crumbs flow. I'm gonna turn all of my stones. I've got blue souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Who that soldier in the mirror? Oh, oh. I'm gonna turn all of my stones. Turn all of my
Let's watch.
Come on,
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is Lady Freedom here, coming at you with another raw narrative. And it's so good to see all of you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, Jen, thank you so much for becoming a new member. And I know that you've always been a part of the Dragon Tribe, so it's so good to have you here, Jen. And Joe Neal is here. Good to see you, Joe. And Chuchi, hey, Chuchi, good to see you. I got your emails, girl. Today's been a morning, you guys. I figured I'd just hop on, fire up a live really quick. I'm going to do some editing later tonight. So this will be my live for today. And then I also want to do a giveaway because I got some fun little trinkets from Pigfest because I know we were going to do a giveaway, but I want to give everybody time to be here for that because we're just going to do a numbers drawing. Like you guys are going to pick a number and I'm going to already pre-decide the number like before the show and I will post it on a video after so you guys can see, it's all uh, kosher, so to speak. Hey, Valley Gal, good to see you. Hey, Cherokee, thanks for being here. And Andrea and Kimberly, good to see you guys. I hope you guys are having a great Tuesday. And Lori's here. Good to see you, Lori and Paige. Good to see you, Holly S. Thanks for being here. Oh, here's Jen's membership. Thank you, Jen. Hey, Denise Harris. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Hello, Nano. Good to have you. And Mama's here too, Mama 70. I do have an iPhone membership. I know it's like a pain in the rear if you have an iPhone because I have one too. Hey, Gina H. Gina H is here. Hey, NorCal So Gal. Good to have you too. Good to see you guys. Yeah, so this is going to be an early show. I know some of my night owls love the night shows, and then we have the early shows sometimes, and I love both. I can't lie. So I love to do two shows in one day, and I typically like to do that. But like my living room looks like my trip exploded in it, right? Like I got my blankets and stuff that I brought on the road, and I need to do some laundry. So I'm just a little behind. A little behind. We'll just say that. And I've been taking in, I feel like I've been processing information overload. Hey, Shadow, since Nerdy Addict. And I know we talked about that, pretty extensively. I think we've all been chatting about it. Hey, Elaine Maxwell, good to see you. So, yes, Lori, I love the night shows too, right? Because it's just like a certain vibe and I usually I like to like be up here, face to face with you guys. I felt so bad that I wasn't face to face with Don B last night. You guys got to check that live out. So it was Jen and I, and then we had uh Canine Jules came up for a little bit, and then we had um Don B, Sweet Tea with Don B, and he just did a great job. I mean, I need to like clip the hell out of that, just all of it. Hey, Lisa King. Hey, Gail. Thanks for being here. Thank you for the green hearts too. Hey, Bliss Blessings. So, I mean, that was an awesome live. We also had Mr. and Mrs. E in the chat too. And so it was just great. It was just great. Lori says, "Oh, I feel you, Lady Freedom." It's just like a lot of information, right? It's like we have new input, right? It reminds me of, that movie Short Circuit from back in the day, and it's just like, yeah, that's what I was doing. Like he's doing really fast through the pages and stuff like that. And yeah, that's how I feel. I'm just like input overload, right? But it's a good thing. So there's been some life that's been breathed into the Sebastian Rogers case now. I don't know. A lot of it is purely speculative, especially because a lot of the information I just have to remind everyone came from Chris Proudfoot. So, this is the guy that's right above my head, right? I'm the little bubble talking. You got Mr. Proudfoot up there, and he's got a super soaker and a hat, and he looks like a damn fool, in my opinion. And so you got him, and then you have Katie with her dead eyes. You got, Chloe McNasty up here and the way that she is. And then we have, you know, Medea. I'm a thug. I'm a real thug. Right. But I mean, this is just not normal, right? This is a picture of Seth down by the sheriff's office, right? He was out there, he just wants answers, and it's really tough, guys, because I'll tell you, I am gonna go over my trip and chronicle it, but I had a lot of what do we call it? Like epiphanies or come to Jesus moments, light bulb moment, whatever it is, thinking cap moment, right? And hey, V or WV Holla girl, good to see you. Um, so I want to share that with you guys, but I am still like going through and processing everything that I took in. And then the videos that I took, like I have like a couple of hours of videos to kind of go through. I took some pictures at the Texas Roadhouse. Of course, I was taking pictures of the menu. I was taking pictures of the outside, the camera placement, all of that. So I was trying to pay attention to those details. And, the tough part is, um, first of all, I am brand new to all of this, right? I just became a creator when Sebastian's story came out. I was going to focus on Harmony Montgomery. That was who I was researching because the trial was around that time, right? And then, of course, Riley Strain, I was following Pascal, and then I saw everybody saying, Sebastian Rogers is missing from Hendersonville, Tennessee. And, I go back and I play the news clips and I started watching those and realizing that, here's this beautiful young autistic kid, Sebastian Rogers. He's adorable. So this is all the nonsense in his case right behind me. But in reality, Sebastian Rogers is an adorable kid. That's his missing poster. And I mean, look at him in the bubble jacket, you guys. If you look at his picture, how can you not want to help find him, right? Um, it's absolutely sad. And in going through this experience, I've realized that this nonsense is what most people are focused on. Unfortunately, they're not focused on Sebastian, right? But we do have Katie Proudfoot. This is her in an interview, guys. And yes, I did snap a photo of her while she's explaining, green tea, right? This is Katie explaining green tea and mimicking Sebastian. I mean, she looks like a fucking nut. I'm sorry. I know it's a day show. Sorry, but she looks like an effing nut, right? In my opinion. And that's not the only weird picture that I could snap from that. I snapped about, I don't know, at least 7 or 8, and where she's acting like a complete nut job, right? So I don't know. I'm just not down with that. And I never will be. What I am down with is trying to find Sebastian Rogers. We need to find him. We really do. We need to find him. And I'm always going to try to report. Thank you, Shadow, for Riley. I know, right? Riley was Green Hearts too. That story gets me because I can see myself, having a ball down in Nashville getting lost. Um, absolutely. Yeah, rest in peace, Riley Strain. Bliss blessings. Thank you so much for gifting 5 Lady Freedoms memberships. Thank you. And also say thank you if you got a Lady Freedoms Raw Narratives membership. And welcome to the Dragon Tribe. You guys are the best bunch of people. So we had a lunch. I still want to, I'm still working on getting the photos too, because I do have photos on my phone of the lunch, guys. And I want to put those, well, give them to all the gals that were there. And I want to make sure I get wrenches to you guys too, because you guys are just like, I mean, we had a little meeting of the minds, you guys. We had like a long table, a booth, and they put some chairs up for us. And I mean, we just sat at the Texas Roadhouse and we talked about Sebastian Rogers. And I'm going to get emotional because people were sharing their stories. We were talking about our own experiences, and then also why we are so involved, right? Like why Sebastian has our heart, why we want to find him, and what could have happened to him. And this was said and that was said, and it was just it was just really neat. We just really had a great time. I did, and I was just honored to be with some lovely ladies, wonderful people that are really truly wanting to find Sebastian, you know and we were wearing our Sebastian shirts, and everybody knew why we were there. They all knew why we were there. And even our waitress knew about Sebastian. Guys, people know about Sebastian. That's another thing I wanted to kind of talk about too, because I mean, we saw Nerdy when he went around, and people were like, "Oh yeah, I know about Sebastian. I know about Sebastian." Jen told me before I got down there, she's like, people know about Sebastian, Lady Freedom. They do. They really do. And I'm like, that's good. That is wonderful. And, it's about getting Sebastian other places too now, right? Because we've gone 19 months with Sebastian. Hey, Kathy Bartholomew and Denise Harris. Good to have you. Um, I was so emotional this morning, Lori. And then other reasons, also other reasons other than Sebastian, we have Jesse Farber. He has recently just been found. A piece of Jesse has been found. And I spoke with his wife, Rachel, on the phone, and she told me her side of the story, and she told me about Jesse. And when I talk to people, guys, and maybe this is um not the best way to go about it, but how I am as a person is that if I talk to somebody about their family members being missing or something happening, right, I kind of want to hear about that person. And so I do get to know the person on the deeper level because it helps me to understand more about them, right? Like, what was the dynamic between Jesse and his wife? You guys have kids, you guys, just all of it, right? I ask all of those questions, and I tell people if I'm asking too much, just tell me that you're not going to answer me, right? Like, I can't answer that for you because I'm okay with that. You know, I'm okay if they don't answer me, or if they tell me, you know what, that's a little bit too personal, or I would rather not talk about that. Something like that is understandable, right? Because here I am as a person on the outside looking in, and I'm asking these deeper questions that I might be going a little bit too far, right? So I always respect that. But I did get to know more about that case, and just knowing that that part of him was found. I've been researching that this morning as well. So that's another reason I wasn't getting um, on with the editing process, because I just have so much stuff. I just want to make sure it's like chronological. I want to put some good videos out for you guys. So, because I think you're going to really enjoy watching the trip. But going back to the Sebastian Rogers case, the main problem that I see here, and this is what I've concluded for 100%, one thing that I have concluded 100% is that YouTube is not helping in the way that it should be and that it's meant to be, right? It's not. It's not. Because in theory, it's really designed for us to build awareness, right? Build awareness and share and like and subscribe, and then somebody might clip something and somebody will share that clip, and somebody would fire up a live and go to someone else's live and play some excerpts from it, or play it through and comment, right? And that's fantastic, because what that does is it gets information out so much faster than we could have ever imagined, right? Like, if we had this in missing people's cases all along, many more people would be found. Many more people would be found, and it would just be a better place, right? And that's what we need to be focusing in on and doing. So if there's any creators out there that are looking to build a greater network of people who are actually wanting to make a difference, make things better, uh, hit me up on my email. It's ladyfreedomsrawnarratives@gmail.com. No apostrophe. Just send me an email and let's get the ball rolling, because honestly, these other shit creators, and I'm sorry, but it's bullshit that Sebastian Rogers has all of this in his case, and they're the reasons for it. This big fat cow up here, and I'm sorry, but I'm over it. Hey, Little Reddo, I'm over it. And I watched Little Reddo's live last night, and she was talking about this bullshit too. The same crap right here. The same crap. Oh, let's attack everybody. Let's do this. Let's do that. No, it's not about that. But they make it about that, and everybody bows down to this crazy person who lies to her audience constantly, right? Constantly lying. Oh, I'm going to be at the VIP tent, and then she turns around and goes to Virginia, right? So it's not helping Sebastian, but she's working with his parents, right? Stepfoot and Katie, right? Well, I'm here to tell you that I'm working with people who are trying to find Sebastian, and I can tell you 100% that Seth is looking for Sebastian because I truly believe that he doesn't know where his son is. And call me weird for, having a vibe about something or feeling something. I'm an empath. I can't help it. That is how my feelers go out into this world and pick up information. I'm sorry if that bothers you. I'm sorry if you don't understand that. But I'm here to tell you, when I look at Katie, when I look at Seth, and I'm going to tell you, Chris and Katie would never try to meet me. They would never try to meet me because they know what they've done to me just because I cover their missing son's case. But Seth didn't have a problem meeting me or looking me in the eye. So that's my conclusion. Oh, yeah, I know. And he does that. Elevated goof. I have a lot to say, but I just don't say it because I've said it here. So I'm not going to go ask him directly. But it's like, you're the guy that acts like you're some kind of a moral person, but you're the same guy that paid White Boy Lockdown Radio money after he lost to me in court, after he and his wife lost to me in court, right? Because they were stalking me and coming to my place of residence. He's so ridiculous. It's virtue signaling. Thank you, Holly S. It's virtue signaling. Yeah, and thank you, NorCal SoCal. I mean, this is the thing. It's like that's what they're expected to do. They should all be doing it. All of them. Seth needs to do more advocacy. Katie and Chris need to do more advocacy. They should all be doing more advocacy. How's that? So just shut up about the billboards. That was like way in the beginning. Right? But we're getting to the point in this case, guys, where, you know, we have so much just coming out and a lot of things that were being done behind the scenes that we didn't know about. Like, for instance, this February 7th, 2025 search warrant or warrant, right? They got evidence, they retrieved evidence from the home per a judge signing off on a probable cause warrant, right? Because that's just how it works. It's just how it works. So, and they didn't do that for for anyone else's information, to the best of my knowledge, besides them. So what does that tell us? I don't care how many billboards they put up. Hey, little Miss Sharon, I don't care how many billboards they put up. They know where he is, in my opinion. You know, how is it that we care more than they do? Right? Presumably. Oh my gosh, yeah, NorCal SoCal. Oh gosh, it was terrible. It was terrible, terrible, terrible. And I was like, because I'm talking about Sebastian's case, oh, well, they were also upset about Summer Wells too. They didn't like me talking about her. Too bad. I'm never going to stop talking about Summer Wells. As a matter of fact, I have a picture of Summer Wells and Sebastian right here. I have this of Summer Wells. Look at her. You want me to stop talking about her? Oh, it'll be a cold day in hell. It will be a cold day in hell. These are the kids that I save in my photos. And don't forget about baby Emmanuel. And that's before he was brutally beaten. Horrible. And no, I will not stop. And we're not going to stop talking about Devlin Tate either. So we have some lives on Devlin Tate coming up. And also Little Red and I have been collaborating really, really hard behind the scenes. And a special shout out to Little Red and Sprinkle Donut for all of their hard work on Devlin's case, really helping, really helping. This is what I'm talking about. A group of people that really want to help, that really want to put their time and resource into making a difference, not just sitting up here acting like an idiot. You know, hey, me and you, not acting like a friggin' idiot. His eyes, good to see you. In my opinion, CP blew up about the warrant to convince people it was only a subpoena. Yeah, absolutely. His eyes. He wants, I mean, they trick their audience all the time. I watched Elevated Goof today. He's like, "Oh, if you want to bring back Saturday Night Lives, then, send me a super chat and pretend I'm Cluminati." So people start sending $2, or whatever. Okay, so whatever. That's great. I'm glad that that works on manipulating your audience, but that's what these people do. They like to manipulate the audience that they have. They think it's fun to get off on getting over on their chatters, And I mean, if we're being honest, he was manipulated, in my opinion, by White Boy for sending him money for a lawyer after a court date, after when I won in court, right? I proved that he was stalking and harassing me. And he still was grifting money. Oh, we're going to take this back to court. No, you're not. It's a lifetime. I mean, it's for life. It's never going to expire. And I did that on purpose because that's how fucking crazy these people are. I did that on purpose to protect myself, right? Because that's what you do. You don't sit here back and forth online with people when they're doing that. No, you call the police and you get it taken care of. You go down to the courthouse, you file your paperwork, and it's done. Right? I mean, come on. Holly S, I mean, in the beginning I was naive. I was like, "Oh, Duchess, she put the," and I think they showed them on the news at some point, but it wasn't like that was a long drawn out thing. And then, Barbecue came in and said that she like bought a whole bunch, or she raised money for some, and I mean, people were doing it. I get that. You know. Hey, Blessed. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, I mean, um, it's nuts. Hey, Bear Honey. Um, and I saw one, Mom Ended Up sent it to me, one of the ones I guess At Night had put up. Um, and guys, I guess that was At Night in my chat the other day because they like put out a premiere when I was out in Tennessee, and I was like, "Oh, well, I don't know why Nick didn't just come in here, because usually that's how that's how I know, but I guess At Night might be a different person than Nick." So, um, if Sebastian comes back and lives with Seth, they'll talk shit on Sebastian, mark my words. Yeah, well, and I mean, that's the thing. We were talking about that too. I mean, we've just been talking about all of the options, right? Like what could have happened to Sebastian? How did he get out of the house, right? Because I was asking everybody, even before we went to the neighborhood, I was like, "Do you really think that like Sebastian could have left the neighborhood undetected?" I mean, because I really was curious because everybody that I talked to is from the area. Some people have lived there their whole life or most of their lives, right? So I was curious to know their insight on that, right? What do they think? And, going to the neighborhood, I went there twice. It's a nice neighborhood. I mean, there are people that have stuff to protect. I mean, if you're poor, you don't have jack crap to protect, right? Besides yourself, which is probably what we should all be focused on, right? Because we can't take any of that crap with us. But yeah, personal safety reasons, right? I put up cameras when I was here, and here I thought I was going to get some peace and quiet from stalkers and weirdos. And here I am dealing with a white boy and his weirdo wife. Because I don't know what wife does that, unless they're maybe on some stuff. Uh, yeah. And Gina, they argue and they argue and stuff like that, and it's ridiculous. I mean, look, he was arguing outside with Texana because she dropped the case yesterday, And this lady, guys, in my opinion, right? This is my show. Texana has some mental issues, right? Like, go look at her posts, and you can see that this woman is not right. You know what I'm saying? There's something not right with her. And Chris Proudfoot is sitting there yelling at this woman when he probably put her up to the whole damn thing. In my opinion. Excuse me. Sorry, I grabbed some coffee there. Oh, and by the way, I got side note, French roast Starbucks is really, really good coffee in the Keurig. I'm just saying that. I'm just gonna put that out there. And they are not a sponsor, which I wish they would be. So thank you, his eyes. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna keep doing me. And that's the thing, like I see so much friggin' hate from all these MFers all over the place. I actually brought my ass to X today and commented on a post. Can you guys believe that? Because I never comment in X. But I was like, I couldn't help my thumbs just started moving. Mima, good to see you. You can always know you get the truth by who does press with who. Well, and I agree. I agree. And that's the thing. Look, we can all disagree on things. It's going to happen. Me and Jen disagree, but I love that. She challenges me, right? Same thing with Seth. I don't let Seth give me shit. You know, I don't. I really don't. But Seth has a different personality. If you meet him, you understand that. You know, um, and so yeah, I'm pretty open. Hey, Hypnotic Drifter says, it has often been said that people do not go looking for something or somewhere that is not missing. Right. And that's the thing too. Yeah, I misplaced my wallet like right before I left because I had everything in my living room. I live in a camper, so it's small. So it's like once there's like anything, out, it's like clutter. So I had everything, packed up and getting ready to go and everything and had it all in one spot. Well, then I had put my wallet like someplace or something and I was like I had to go get the rental car and I'm like, "Oh my gosh." And it was just a whole deal and I couldn't find it really and I was looking all over frantically, you know what I'm saying, over my wallet, which is an inanimate object, which doesn't mean shit at the end of the day. Again, we can't take it with us when we go, right? People matter. We matter. Sebastian matters, right? And if she lost him or he ran away, she'd be looking for him. She knows where he is. She knows where he is. That is another 100% conclusion that I came to. And I'm sorry that you guys don't like that. Haters in the bushes. I don't care. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters about is Sebastian. He is who matters the most. He is who is missing. And I had to remind someone of that right before I left from my trip, right? Because if it was their kid, they would want him found. They would want people digging. They would want people out there looking. Yes, we do, Little Redo, and I cannot wait. Please drop your link in the chat, please, for your channel with Sprinkled Donut. Because these are the ladies that I would want to work with, that I would want like if my family member or someone, I can't even say it because it just, oh my God, it breaks me up. If someone I loved was missing, I would want these women doing this. I would want these women on it. because they care and they're not doing it, oh, just so they can get positive accolades or pat on the back or, 7,000 super chats. It's not about that. It's about how can we help a mother who is missing her son? How can we help bring him home to his family? He's been missing 6 months. His mother is being harassed on the anniversary of that by the family who last was with him, who was last responsible for him. In my opinion, I don't care what the judge said. Devlin needed extra special help, and he did not receive it. And shame on them for not giving it to him. They shouldn't have to be told that. They know him. I don't. But I know he needs special help. Thank you, Little Red. This family, I feel, is evil, in my opinion. I think so. Guys, I went to the neighborhood twice. I got the heebie-jeebies twice. And I mean, to tell you, before I entered that neighborhood, it was like like butterflies in my stomach and then a sick feeling. Hey, Deanna D. And I'm not kidding you. That's what I call him. I'm not calling him truth. Are you kidding me, Lori? I can't. I can't. I'm not going to do that. You want to show me zero respect and you're a man paying another man and his wife to continue on with what they were doing and try to take me back to court? Please. I want all the Krama creators that use AI to be creative. Well, how creative do you really have to be to use AI to create for you? It takes zero creativity. Hello, McFly. Jesus. Bear Honey says, I'm convinced they have bots for viewers. What they have is a whole bunch of the same people that have different accounts. They're called alts, right? And what they do, and I learned this very early on, thank God for, good people, right? I learned this that it's like, for instance, for example, you have Grace's Gavel, right? Who used to be just Gracie. She started a YouTube channel that failed because she is not a true crime person. She's a Krama person. Well, she turns around and starts a new channel, right? So that's another alt name. It's Krama Chronicles, right? And then she tells Elevated Truth that she has had a missing child for longer than Sebastian's been missing. And she also goes into her own channel, Krama Chronicles, as Grace's Gavel, and talks to herself. This is what they have. They have a whole bunch of people who have alt accounts, right? And only if you know who they are, you know this. It's the same thing with Minnie. I made the video of her harassing me over the phone and leaving me like, I don't know, I think there was like 10 voicemails back to back to back, right? And then she turns around and she's Krama Reels, right? So that crazy old lady that left me all those psycho voicemails is Minnie, right? They're all tied to Terry Lynn, by the way. It's Krama Reels. There's alts. It's all. They have multiple accounts, guys. It's the same person with multiple accounts. We need to wake up to that too, guys. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all smoke and mirrors, just like the Pig Fest, right? Just like the Pig Fest. Because here's Cluminati saying, oh, they don't want Sebastian at the Pig Fest. Yeah, they do. Hey, Cece. Yes, they do. The problem is the bullshit that they don't want all of the crap behind me on the screen is what they don't want. It doesn't have anything to do with beautiful Sebastian Rogers. Not a damn thing. This is who matters. Not me, Sebastian. Not the Pig Fest. It's Sebastian who matters. He's missing. Where is Sebastian? Not these egomaniacs with their 7 million alt accounts causing trouble and wreaking havoc all over the internet. He's who matters. And no, I'm not on mute. I'm not muted. I just needed to take a second to show you who matters. I didn't see anyone, Denise. Oh, but they were going to be there. Yeah, they didn't hand out flyers for Sebastian either, right? Yes, Holly S. On target. Weaponized vulnerable people, Lady Freedom, another example. It's ridiculous. Yeah, CP's always big mad. He was out there yelling at the courthouse. He's always big mad about something that he started and created. That is such a narcissistic trait. You know, be mad at everyone else because your shit blew up in your face that you fucking started. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I know we're in a day show. I should save the colorful language for my nights, but Lord help us. His eye says Texana has a few screws loose, and I think I looked at her Facebook once and saw she had a prophet on her friends list. Yeah, they're buddies, and so is Cruella. Cruella is a friend. You know, he's embarrassing. He embarrasses himself. Then he gets mad for us talking about it. You know, it's panic mode. I know I'm in behind in the chat, guys. It is. It's panic mode, and it was over my friggin' wallet. You know. Gina H, thank you so much for gifting 5 Lady Freedom's Raw Narratives memberships. If you got a membership, welcome to the Dragon Tribe, and make sure you say thank you to Gina. Thank you, Gina. The wind here in East Texas is 25 miles an hour. Oh my goodness, East Texas. Denise, that's crazy. It's it's cooled down in Florida. Yesterday it was pretty hot and humid when I rolled into town. But it's beautiful here. I love Florida. It's my favorite. I'm like, why didn't I live here my whole life? Even though I'm a Chicago girl and I'll always love Chicago. Um, yeah. Hypnotic Drifter says, I'm still bewildered as to why, or excuse me, why and when Elevated Truth started covering this case in March of 2024, that he ran a ticker on the bottom of his screen asking for tips to be sent to his Gmail. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't, and you know, I don't fault people. I'll tell you guys, like the ads are not how YouTubers make money. It is from crowd, you know, funding and sourcing and things like that. Like you guys like us, you guys send us some money. You know, if we have something, you guys are always like the first to be like, hey, um, you know, just even with my trip, you know, and things like that. It costs money to go on location. Guys, I would go on location. I loved it. I thought it was so awesome. I had a blast and I was by myself. And I really did love just driving, knowing that I was heading over there um, to figure out what's going on, you know? I mean, and that was the coolest part about it. It was finding out what's going on. And then I met some of the most awesome people I've ever met in my life while I was there, you know? And a special shout out to Jen and Jeff, you know, letting me come stay with them. I mean, we just had a ball. And like I said, Jen and I were really able to it's so much different when you can be face to face with someone and just talk things out, right? And, you know, it was just a really great experience. And also, you know, hearing Jeff's insight into things as well, because, you know, we all think of things from a different perspective. And I loved having people to kind of talk with me about the case. I love talking with you all about it too, but, you know, Nate's not really into true crime. You know, I mean, sometimes he'll talk with me, or I'll say, like, you know, He's in construction. So the crane stuff in the beginning, I was telling him about, Chris being in the crane and like, using his earbuds and doing this back, this little, song and dance that he does. And he's like, that's so dangerous. And I'm surprised he didn't get fired for that. So there's little things like that that he can confirm and whatnot. But, um, I just love talking about the cases. We went to a friend of his down in the Keys, and his friend's mom and I were talking, because they work together, they're coworkers. So they were talking, but I was talking with his mom because she was there to visit, from Michigan, of all places. And I was telling her about Devlin's case. I was talking, about Sebastian, and she was very interested. So I mean, it was just funny because I was like, sorry guys, I'm like totally monopolizing, excuse me, the conversation. But it was just so much fun to talk with her about true crime because she's into that kind of stuff, right? It's not everybody that's into that. And that's one thing that I learned with the Pig Fest is that people know about Sebastian. It's just that they don't quite understand the level of awareness that it takes, or why we would think that it's necessary to be there and, talk about Sebastian. They don't quite understand it. But then again, they do know about it. They know about Sebastian, and I'm just going to say that many, many people are not Proudfoot supporters, right? And I think that's why people are so loud and proud about it on the interweb, because they know that they have a certain audience that is rooting for that. That's why they're okay with it. I mean, typically people wouldn't be that way. They just wouldn't, right? Anybody with a normal mindset or brain function is going to look at this case and say Chris and Katie are guilty. I haven't had one person, and I've talked to people on the streets randomly about it, handing out flyers that have said, you know, that they're not the ones to look at, right? Not one single person said, well, what about his biological father? Nope, because Seth was at work. When they asked that, it's, well, he was a corrections officer over at Davidson County Prison, or excuse me, Davidson County Jail. Okay. So that kind of ends that for everyone, right? It's not people saying, did he get a polygraph? Did he take a polygraph? Right? But then if they asked me that, I'd say, yeah, he took one with Nancy Grace, and a world-renowned polygraphist, right? Okay. So there's that. And any normal person would say, okay, right? But instead we have these other people on there. Well, if a warrant was served on Katie and Chris, was one served on Seth too? Was there? Was there? Did anybody ask about that? Yeah, a bunch of your sheep asked about it, as a matter of fact. A bunch of your little Baba sheep asked about it, you know? So, oh, big time, Holly S. Big time. Big time. I had so many people share that with me, and I was completely and utterly floored that I've never seen that before. Hey, Kiki. All the girls that went to lunch, would you guys please comment on this video so I could give you a wrench? Um, just after the show, or what, just in the comments section. Thank you, me and you. We love Gator. Hey, Carrie Jackson. From what I'm seeing, law enforcement picks and chooses what cases they take seriously. It's disgusting. I mean, Carrie, that's another really big topic that I want to talk about, guys, and we're going to talk about it. Hey, Mark, good to see you, hon. Um, we're going to talk about it. We are going to talk about it because a lot of the things, how do I put this? Sometimes, even though we don't see what law enforcement is doing behind the scenes, it doesn't mean that they're not doing anything, you know? And I don't mean like okay, how do I say this? I don't mean it in a way that there's not corruption or that they don't need to get off their rumps. I mean, I do think that there needs to be active searches for Sebastian Rogers. But we talked to, we were talking with Jules, and the funding is an issue. The funding is an issue. Now, I will say again, too, with Devlin Tate's case, they need to be boots on the ground. We need grid searches. We need that in these cases, right? But here's the thing, if the evidence isn't pointing in that direction, why would they waste their resources? Think about this. Sebastian Rogers' case, they did one of the largest scale searches that they had ever done in that area, right? Searching, in a radius around Sebastian's home, going out a little bit of that radius, but then going back and searching and searching and searching. Guys, when I talk about thick woods, I'm talking thick woods. When Jen and I stopped over at the Stop 30 and we got out and we were looking, and thank God for Jeff being there too, because it's nice to have a guy, right? With us. Thank you, Jeff. You know what I'm saying? Because I felt safer. Um, you know, um, so because I'll just go walking, you know what I mean? I'm filming, I'm walking, I'm curious, so I'm not thinking about it, like I'm like a little cat, like I don't care. I'm just looking. And I'm in the woods looking and I'm trying to go in there and then I get stuck by pickers. But there's like bones and stuff in there, so I'm like really curious and I'm looking in there and I'm like, holy shit, there's bones. And what do you reckon? There's bones all over the place over here. And then Jeff's like, well, maybe they were poaching deer and stuff. And I'm like, man, this is weird, and that's another thing that Nate would be an expert at because he likes to hunt. And so I'm like, I got to ask Nate about this. And hey, Brenda Sue says someone was showing a picture of you, Seth, and the other people were with you. Oh yeah, that's cool, Brenda. Was it Bullhorn Betty? I think I think Jen sent that picture over. And look, guys, I mean, Seth wasn't in a mood to be taking pictures and stuff with us. I mean, he really wasn't. If I'm being if I'm being honest, right? He wasn't. It was fun, Deanna. It was really fun. It really was. I mean, parts of it. And then there were, within the fun, it was bittersweet because we were there meeting because of Sebastian and because he's still missing. It wasn't about like a good, it's like I wish I would have met people under different terms. I wish I would have met them before this or something. Um, Yeah, but I mean, we were meant to meet, right? Because we all have the same goal. Our hearts are all together for that reason, right? For Sebastian, you know? So, and I don't want to be a part of the group that wants to spin the narrative. I don't want to be a part of the group that is trying to make the Proudfoots look better than who they are, you know? I just don't want that. I don't want to be a part of that. There are certain things that I refuse to be associated with for reasons of my own, which is that, I have to look at myself in the mirror every day. I have to lay my head on the pillow and say, did I do good today or did I do more good than bad today? Did I do more bad than good today? Right? What have I done today that made a difference? That's what I have to do. Miss Ann, don't say that. We love having you here. What would happen to the Dragon Tribe if we didn't have you? That's right, Deanna. That's right. And I want there to be a better relationship. I'm trying to build. While I was there, I wanted to build bridges, not burn them down. You know. Thank you, NorCal SoCal. That's what I'm saying. Like, you guys are so great. Like, I mean, it would have been nice to go down, to Nashville or something like that, all of us girls or something. You know what I'm saying? Better than why we were there, but I mean, that's the thing, Um, and I think that's what our lunch was about too, But everybody knew why we were there. Obviously, we're wearing Sebastian's t-shirts, but even more so, it's a whole community that's affected. Now, you're going to have different people in the community, I mean, everybody has different personalities. Yes, everybody give Miss Ann hugs. Miss Ann, we all love you here. Just know that. And I know it's not easy. Look, and Miss Ann's another mom out there that misses her son every single day, and it's very hard for her to keep carrying on, you know? So that's right, little Miss Sharon. We don't see Katie like that. She's moving right along. Oh, let's look at some more reptiles. Let's go to a reptile expo. Why don't you go to a friggin' missing kids expo? It's ridiculous. But we're expected to believe that they're good people. Thank you, Brenda Sue. Hey, I met some amazing, amazing people. I know. It was like it was like we weren't, strangers. I mean, obviously we know each other from chat and stuff like that, but we just all got together and it was like what is it? It's like a class reunion or something, but like we knew each other before. It was very cool, Kiki. I really enjoyed myself. It was so great. Um, you know, so hey, Tranquility Soul for you. Good to see you. I love your avatars. You have the best avatars. Holly S says, Lady Freedom, I heard that one woman in question said that Gabby Petito was the problem back during the case. If that's true, she said that it puts even more into perspective. Oh, wow. Well, and see, Holly, that was the reason why I wanted to start a YouTube channel, is because of Gabby Petito. Because people were saying that she was the problem, that there was like I even saw that people were saying that there was reactive abuse going on, like in terms of Brian was being reactively abusive, right? Because I do know, and I think, and I do believe in the concept, or the phenomena of reactive abuse. I mean, it's like nobody can force you to be abusive. However, if somebody is constantly gaslighting you or abusing you themselves, then that reactive abuse is almost like understandable, right? Because the person is simply reacting and being abusive back, which they normally aren't abusive, and it's not in their nature to be so, but they are because they're protecting themselves. Get it? It's like our brains are hardwired to do that. We're hardwired to survive, you know? Thank you, Brenda Sue. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. Oh my gosh, SF inserted himself, and that was another thing with Jesse Farber's case. I saw that today also on X. That was the reason I was on X. Then I started perusing it a little bit, right? Two ATV riders found Jesse Farber's a part of his remains, right? He's still out there, guys. They still need to find the rest of Jesse Farber. They still have to find him, right? They're still actively looking. But SF inserts himself instead of SF investigates because he didn't investigate shit. He's just over there tearing up a bunch of land as we speak, right? And to my knowledge, he hasn't found any more of Jesse. But here's Stephen Crabtree, like, oh, SF investigates. Let's find the rest. Well, they didn't find him, guys. 2 ATV riders found him back in July, and they have just now processed and realized that that is and confirmed, I think it was a day or two ago, that Jesse Farber had been found. The piece that they found was, in fact, him, you know? And I spoke with Rachel a couple months ago, right? And I know that you guys didn't know that, but she was a little reluctant to come up and speak, right? But she talked with me about it, and we talked about theories, and we talked about a lot of things, you know? And I'm here to tell you, please don't believe Crabtree or SF Investigates. Please. Now, I know Crabtree's been helping Rachel. I know that, right? But I'm just saying, when he turns around and does something like that and almost insinuates, right? And I'm going to say almost insinuates, but I know what he's doing. I mean, it's very obvious in my opinion that, oh, we found Jesse. No, you didn't. Oh, we're going to find the rest of them. Oh, you're so great, SF. Oh, no, it's not. First of all, it's not about any of us. I don't know how many times I have to say it. It's about finding Jesse. How would you like it if it was your family member out there and only one piece of him was found? I can't imagine. Like, I mean, I was so emotional about that this morning. Oh my God. I just can't even fathom it. And I'm here to tell you, his wife, 10 years later, still beside herself, still beside herself, still so in love with Jesse. Talk about a reality check. And the last time she heard from him, he was in the woods and said the coyotes were after him. Absolutely sad. And then she couldn't get a hold of him, and she's trying to find him. And she couldn't find him until now. And the only thing that she finds of him is one piece of him. And then you want to act like it's about you? It's like, wow. You do a really good job, Tranquility. Ooh, I'd like to try some Aussie jelly, little Miss Sharon. My sister lived in Australia for a couple of years, and her boyfriend came out, and we were out on a boat in Branson, Missouri, and we had peanut butter sandwiches or something. I think we brought or maybe it was peanut butter crackers, but he had never had peanut butter before. And I'm like, you've never had a peanut butter cup before? And I was like, oh, you have to have peanut butter cups before you leave and go back to Australia. I was like, you just have to. And then we also went out to an Italian restaurant, and it was so funny because he was like, "Holy cow, these portions are huge." And we all like took food home, and he's like, "Oh, we don't do that in Australia." So I thought that was really interesting. Now this was some years ago. But and my sister FaceTimed me a couple times from Australia, and it's beautiful there. I was like, "Oh, I'm so jealous." So talk about jelly. Hey, Deanna. Deanna says, Lady Freedom, if you're ever over by Daytona Beach, hit me up and we'll have lunch for sure. Definitely. Absolutely, Deanna. I would love to. I need to explore Florida still, guys. I mean, hell, I've only been here for a year. So it's just gorgeous, you know. I just love it. I saw the welcome to Florida sign and I was like, you know, hooting and hollering by myself in my car. Nobody on the road. It was so nice. Like there was nobody on the road. I was like, oh, this is great. And then of course I hit like traffic up by Fort Myers when I was coming in and I was like, oh, I'm so glad I made the night drive and I pushed myself because I would have been regretting it, like sitting in traffic. If you're from Chicago or if you guys have ever been in Chicago during rush hour traffic, just picture sitting in a damn parking lot for hours and you'll never want to do it again. You know, it's like, oh, and everybody's all grumpy and like people get road rage. And like, I was like, so yeah, he's always doing that, Veronica B. Thanks for being here. No, and it's ridiculous. Like, quit acting like you know, can you just be honest? I mean, like, it's one thing to just to be like, hey, we're out there helping. Like, thank God. And I'm glad they're out there helping. I'm not trying to, you know, be a bitch or anything. I'm just saying, like, it just bothers me, especially some of the comments that were made on to News Nation, you know, and I'm gonna make a video. Sorry, guys. I'm a little emotional. You know, I think it's processing my trip and everything too. Yeah, he loves to do that shit, Holly. He loves to do it. SF has also smeared so many victims and families. I've seen him involved with other cases. One lady would not speak to him and he started smearing her. Same with Bobby, in my opinion. That's the thing. He smears people and he lies on people. Just like him saying, oh, well, Lady Freedom doesn't have her real estate license. Well, not in Florida, I don't. I had it in Missouri for one of the most reputable agencies, in my opinion, which is Keller Williams Real Estate. And I'm very proud to say that I was a Keller Williams agent. And he like tried to take that away from me. What a piece of crap, you know? And he does that. Like, I know from personal experience, firsthand knowledge that SF smears people. He's a literal piece of poop. He's a little poop emoji. And he's happy to do it. Oh, look at me. I'm a little poop emoji. Bliss Blessing says, in my opinion, there's a ring of con artists that travel to cases together. Their job, in my opinion, is meant only to be a distraction. Boom, Bliss Blessings, girl. That's what I'm talking about. Because, like, all of a sudden he pops up over there. I'm like, what the heck? Like, that was weird to me, especially because, like I said, I wanted to work with Rachel and stuff. It's just, guys, she was having such a hard time with it again, you know, like, oh my gosh, it's just, you know, it's like, I don't know if you've ever really just been in love with somebody or loved somebody so much, you know, and then she's got kids with him. It's just very tough, right? Um, I'm very leery of these men who so easily argue and get involved with women's drama and bitch, oh my God, right, Holly, as this see you next Tuesday. I agree. Very weak, right? I know. It's like, oh, I'm gonna go right into the hen house. Like most guys are like, ah, no thanks, right? The strong guys. But you know, I mean, absolutely. It's super weak, you know? Aw, it yeah, it's a ring of con artists. It really is. It really is. And Miss Ann, you could text me, girl. Text me anytime. I know I haven't checked my Facebook. Oh my gosh, I'm so behind on my Facebook. Oh, but I was driving a lot, so I didn't have a whole lot of time. Aw, you little Miss Sharon. I know. Well, I need to come to Australia. The only thing is I can't drive there, so I would actually have to get on an airplane, you know? Oh, that's my problem. So, you know, fear sometimes stops me. And then sometimes I'm surprised, you know, how big of cojones I can have. So, Holly S. is Lady Freedom. I can't get over that person has a missing child. Exactly. Exactly. I know. I know. I can't believe that they would say that. It's absolutely gross. And then they perpetuate it to, elevated goof, it's true to his name on this one. He's like, "Oh, Chroma Chronicles, I'm so sorry. I wholeheartedly feel for you." Bullshit. Why don't you have her up on the panel and talk about her missing kid? Oh, wait, she'll probably get like a voice changer, right? To perpetuate her lies. Disgusting. She's lucky I didn't dox her, but I'm not that type of person because I know exactly even who she is and where she lives and all of that. And that is two alt accounts. And I'm pretty sure that lady is like seriously mentally ill. You'd have to be to talk to yourself in chats like that with your alts. But that's what they have. That's the following they have. That's why they have more subscribers than they should. That's why they have more viewers than they should, right? Because they screw the system, you know. They got a bunch of geeks and they have all their devices and they got all their alts and different names and fucking weirdos. Get a life. Tranquility says, just heartbreaking. A lot of the goofballs failed Sebastian. A lot of the other missing people also. It's not right at all. Lady Freedom, you're amazing and beautiful in every way possible. Thank you, Tranquility Soul. Yeah, I mean, it gets to me too. It really does. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and thank you for that. Um, I just want to do the right thing, I mean, it's hard to, and it's hard to believe some of this stuff. I mean, obviously, I let myself get hyped up about Pigfest. I was like, oh, they don't want Sebastian there. Well, bullshit. We're gonna have him there, and that sort of thing. And I learned a lot, guys. And like I said, I'm still processing it. I'm gonna put out some videos and stuff. I just wanted to hop up on a live and talk with you guys. Um, so even though we had a great conversation too. Um, and definitely go check out the live with our all-star panel, right? In our Astrology for Mystics with Jen. You've never been to Chicago or Florida, Dumpy? They're both great places, I think. Lots to do and see. Chicago is just like, I don't know. It's just different. And I haven't been there in a long time. I think it's gotten very, very bad crime-wise. Like, I mean, but to me, growing up there, like there's always been high crime. That's why I went to Catholic school because my parents were like, we don't want to send the kids to school with metal detectors. So they put us in Catholic school. Yeah, well, that's it too. Yeah, Holly S says, in my opinion, some of these people would fly out, scare the pants off Sebastian if he comes back and they want to meet. Well, I know, and that's the thing. I mean, I've often kind of thought about if Sebastian was to just show back up, especially now lately, and I've been trying to block it out. You guys know, because I'm like, oh yeah, right, like he's gonna come back when he's 18. You guys all know how I feel, you know. But then again, here I am thinking about, well, what would happen if Sebastian just came back when he's 18? We talked about it because I mean, it is a topic. It's not impossible. I'm just thinking who would help keep him like that because that person's going to be in trouble too. Somebody's taking care of Sebastian. It's not like he's in an apartment somewhere and they said, here, we're going to pay you and you take care of yourself. Although, it's possible. Look at that the little lady. What's her name? Natalia, right? Yeah, and she's adorable little, she's a little person, right? She's got dwarfism. And you know, they kept her in an apartment herself. They were like, "Oh, she's an adult," and the family is completely screwed up. I'll have to do we'll do a live or something on Natalia, because that story is very interesting, and it's just, I mean, talk about craziness and drama. But there were a lot of people that were saying Natalia was adopted when she was like a full-grown woman, and that she was playing herself off to be a little because she was a little person, so it's hard to tell their age, right? But the whole time I'm like going, I think that Natalia is a child, right? And they took advantage. So Kiki, you would have to go with me and keep me like, because that's the thing. I work myself up, and I know I'm doing that. I know I'm like working myself up because I'm like, what if we crash? What if we, if you guys have ever seen that movie Bridesmaids, that would be me on the plane, you know? They'd be like, here, take this, and you'll, and it just make me more hyper and more, conspiracy driven or something. That's funny. But yeah, I'm the worst person to travel with on a plane because I work myself up. But if I had someone to take my mind off of it, it probably wouldn't be so bad. So when Betty said that this morning, they probably dismembered him and threw him everywhere. Oh, that made me, it just took me back for a minute. Oh, I know Brenda Sue. And look, I watched Lolly's live. I'm very familiar with these photos that Lolly's showing. I'm very familiar with those photos. I've studied those photos. Um, yeah. So when I see them on Lolly, I know exactly what she's pointing out and looking at. I do. And even maybe even more so, but it's tough, right? It's very tough. And I shared Mob Crew's video, guys, where he's talking about their little experiment that they did in the neighborhood. I'm still taken back by some of the local support that Clue and them get. Just because, like, I don't know if those people showed up around my house, I'd be like, you need to get back, Hills Have Eyes people. But but they're all kind of weird. There's a very weird element, like maybe even an underbelly of Sumner County, and we're going to get into that. But of course, that'll be on a different episode because like I said, I want to show you guys my trip, and I want you guys to kind of see it from my perspective. That's kind of what I've been doing since I've been creating videos and things, and I think that works out really well because you guys get to see creatively where I'm coming from, and then you guys can make your own opinions on that or form opinions based on that, or even, from other things that you guys might know that I don't know. Right? Because I mean, in this case, it's like all over the place, right? And we can be like, oh, well, don't give them any views, but like you have to kind of watch them to see what they're doing or saying, in a way you do. Um, so Yes, I do have a Facebook. Yeah, I do. I do just specifically for Lady Freedom, for that stuff. Um, I sure do. I sure do. I even have an Instagram. I just don't like going on Instagram and seeing the scantily clad young ladies on there. I mean, it's like I feel like they're all my daughters and I need to give them a robe because they're all in their underwear. They're in their skivvies. I'm like, you need a robe, young lady. Pair of sweatpants and a sweatshirt, something. But I am on there. So, I don't think it does, and that's the thing because we do have Seth in here. I don't know how often he's going to be coming in. Um, but I will say that, I never know if he's listening or not. He could be in the bushes, maybe because he's not um commenting or chatting doesn't mean he's not listening. And I've always tried to really be mindful. But bonjour seclusion works. I was about to email you, girl. I was like, wait a minute, I haven't seen seclusion. Um, but no, going back, because look, Seth, it's hard for Seth to reckon with the fact that Sebastian might not be here anymore. You know, it would be hard for me too. It really would. I mean, I don't know what I would do. Well, good, Miss Anne. We love our seclusion works. Seclusion works. Aw. You do too, Deanna. I'm the same. I'm the same. Aw, I know. I know. That's why I just drove, girl. We're gonna have to maybe one day we'll do a road trip together. I'll tell you guys, I had like I rented this little Hyundai Sonata and like I'm seriously I'm gonna have somebody call me tomorrow and talk about possibly, buying one because they're super cute. They're great on gas. And I mean, I was going everywhere in that thing, like Johnny Cash and like, it was all good. It was all good. It was kind of sporty. It had a little spoiler on it. I was like, yeah. Oh, Mama Marissa. Hello, Mama Marissa. Good to see you. Oh, hey there. How are you, love? I'm so glad to have you today. Oh, oh my goodness. Oh, I'm so glad. How are you? There you go, Valley Gal. Oh my gosh, you'll love it. Yes. Oh, you guys already did go. Okay, I see. Sorry, I read the comment wrong for a second there. Oh, so fun even in the snow. Oh my gosh, yes, yes. Well, and the snow is beautiful, right? It's just a lot, you know. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I am a Chicago girl through and through. I'll tell you, I just love my sweet home Chicago. Um, yeah, I need to get back there. Um, I want to go see a Cubs game is what I do. Wonderful. Yay, Mama Marissa. We've been praying for you too. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. I am so glad to hear that. You'd be like, have you effers or nuts? Holly S. Oh, I think that is such a great comment here. Very well said. NorCal SoGal says, I would like to see the states work together, RECPS cases. Hopefully that will be an outcome. I think that is so important, right? Like some federal oversight, like what Seth was talking about. Um, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's another thing that Seth is working on and advocating for. And I think that's been overlooked, and I don't know why. I think that those other channels really love to minimize what Seth is doing and maximize what Chris and Katie are doing, right? Which is jack all, in my opinion. So, yes, that's very true. Veronica says, and we would have so many more problems if he does think about it. Yes, absolutely. Denise says, I definitely don't believe Natalia. Uh-oh, Denise, we have to do a live on Natalia, I think. Little Miss Sharon, I'm ready to party, she says. Even though they gave her like the tranquilizers, right? She's drinking and she's like, I'm ready to party now. There's a colonial woman on the wing. Oh my gosh, that is so hilarious. That's me when I'm flying. It's like anxiety just takes over and I have no sense whatsoever. Yeah, the photos are I know, Gail. I know. And how you come to those is that you treat them like a negative, first of all, right? But what you do is you can go back to that video and recreate those photos. Anybody could do that. You just take a screenshot, you know, play the video a hair screenshot, and then it's amazing. So yeah, I'm like that too, Holly S. Like, I don't like to fly, but I will if I have to. Like, especially if I was gonna go someplace like Australia or someplace fun. Like, I want to go to Italy. I want to go to Greece. Those are two places that I'd love to go. Ireland is another one. So Oh, yeah. Gina H says the neighbor across the street gave them the video of BHB, so there's that, in my opinion. Yeah. Yeah. Um, I have some stuff to share. Oh, hey, Music Tourette's. Good to see you. I am a West Virginia girl, but Florida is my home now for 40 years. Oh my gosh, it's just so beautiful. I love it, you know? Yeah, they are. Hills, yeah, Deliverance, meets Hills Have Eyes, Dixon. Exactly. You know? Dixon Uranus. I just got that. Sorry. That's hilarious. Well played. Well played, my friend. Cece. It's horrifying, seclusion. It's horrifying. And that's the thing, like, and what's really difficult, and I was saying this too the other day, it's difficult because once we share these images, they become more and more distorted, right? So like say I sent Kiki a screenshot of the image, right? And then when I send it to her, she's looking at it, say she sends it to Brenda Sue. You know, it's going to get more and more distorted as it's being sent and sent and sent or even presented. So, that's a big one. You know, hey Rosebud. Yes. Yes, Rosebud. I don't understand it. It's weird because he seems to be like he seems to have sense. Like the live that I watched the other day was good. You know, some of the points he was bringing up. Now other things I'm like, you know, and I understand. I kind of expect it to be more, you know, because we all understand where we stand, right? I mean, you guys know where I stand. I know where they stand, right? And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not hating because of that. I'm not throwing shade because of that. But I know from my personal experience what that guy did. And as soon as he got out of court, there was a super chat announced, and they did, or excuse me, there was a Cash App announced, and they didn't have to say anything, but they did. And he sent him $180 super chat. Oh, I'm sorry, $180 Cash App. And they're real proud of it. It's still on their page, which is fine by me. I mean, you know, whatever. Just don't come to my house and stalk me, weirdos. You know what I'm saying? If they would have kept it online, it never would have gotten that far. I never would have reported it, and the judge never would have granted it. And that's the facts. That's the facts. You can take that to the bank because I got the paperwork to prove it. And if you want to watch my video where I show all of the paperwork and all of the court documents, except for Noelle's, I didn't show hers, but they're pretty much the same. Go check it out. It's called Checkmate. Yeah, they did. They sure did, Gina H. Just the Three Stooges went door to door to door. Don't forget, in my opinion. Right. Right. Well, and that's fine and dandy. I don't want to go knocking on people's doors. I'm not doing that. I'm not a real estate agent trying to sell their house no more. I'm there to find a missing kid. And yeah, I do want to film the area, of course. And I'm not trying to disrespect anybody in the area. It just comes down to the fact that that's the last place Sebastian was. So it's pertinent and it needs to happen, you know? I'd like to share. I will be returned to Montreal and laying to rest next to my wife. Oh, thank you, seclusion. Thank you for sharing that. And I think that's a beautiful idea. I do. And it just, that's right. Kiki knows Canada very well, huh? Yeah. And I just want to say that I think that's beautiful. You know, not everybody gets to have that special kind of love. And when you do have it, it's priceless. It's, you know. IML says, do you guys believe those pixelated pics doing nefarious things? I think people are out there, but as far as some of what they are doing, not sure. Yeah, I mean, I get that. I get that IML because I was even looking at them like, oh my gosh, really? But it is coming from the stills of the flashlight video. But the thing is it's a compressed video. And I know that is going to be kind of like, a little bit hard to understand. It's like two videos in one. Something had to have happened where it was a compressed video. And that's my opinion. I'm so sorry, Brenda Sue. I'm telling you, I've just been emotional since I got back, even. I mean, I was emotional during the trip. And you know, you do, Pat. Oh my gosh, they're just good little cars. I really enjoyed it. And the one that I had, I mean, it had like, I think when I started, it had like 178,000 miles on it, and it was still driving like a champ. I mean, it's a rental, so of course, but and I was gonna get an SUV, really. I was gonna get an Arcadia, I think it was, but I'm very happy with it. I was like, oh, but I should probably get something smaller so it'd be better on gas. Seclusion works. You are so brave, my friend. Oh my God. Holly says trigger. Montana mom arrested because her 2-year-old was found decomposing inside the home. So this happens too often. Oh my gosh. It happens far too often. And then with these little ones, these little littles. I mean, 2 years old. Gail Knits, amen to that. We need more women in power role in the USA. I believe that too. Women are amazing. Good evening, Daffy Dog. Thanks for being here. Great, Mama. I'm so glad. I'm so, so glad. Oh my goodness. We were thinking about you. Aw, great. Yes, of course. I was like, let's get them prayers rolling. Guys, they work. They work, they work, they work. And I was saying that about Pigfest. I'm like, I hope something turns around. And then lo and behold, it wasn't really even about turning anything around. But still, the prayers work. The prayers work. They did. They tried to get, and that's the thing, they were trying to get Seth to play along with everything. And that's one thing that I did agree with Elevated Goof on, right? I was like, hey, because he was saying things like, um, we might not understand why Seth would come out and say some of the things he has, but I'm sure he has his reasons. And of course, because they're trying to make it look like they're all on the same page and they're this great co-parenting relationship that they have. But really it was all bullshit. It wasn't a great parenting relationship that they had. First of all, Katie and Seth, and we saw it in the court documents, is how I know, didn't really have the best of relationship at the end, right? It was a tumultuous situation with their divorce, right? So what? Just because they're not married anymore, that means that everything's fine? That's very rare that happens. It does happen sometimes. But usually if it's amicable and everybody's cool and they realize they're doing it for the kids and that's who's important and da 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 da. Other times it's the fight back and forth. Yeah, and they do. They just mock him. Holly S says, I can't believe the way people mock Seth. And their chat seems fine with it. Do they ever think, what if I'm wrong? This is terrible. I don't think they do. I think they're the never wrongs. I don't think they ever like to admit when they're wrong. And if they do, they know that they're going to get such backlash over it for admitting to faults. When in reality, we all have them. And it's so much better when you can own it. You know? and I hate to bring this, as an example, because this is people's lives we're talking about. But the post that I'm referring to that I posted on X was because Eva of Nerdy Addict and Eva, the Nerd Birds, um, she had made a post because someone had sent me the live that I think Granny and them were doing, and I was listening about Pigfest. Well, part of what I was listening to was them showing a video of Nerdy Addict like throwing food all over the house, and I was like, oh my gosh, why is he throwing food in the house? And and I felt bad for Eva, and I realized that they were having like a major disagreement, and then I was wondering, maybe it's manufactured. So, I didn't say anything. You know what I mean? Because people do like to watch chaotic situations between spouses. For some reason, the Krama community just thrives off of it. They love it. I think their lives are that way, and they like to see that other people live that way or whatever. But it seems to me that it was a genuine thing that, Eva was kind of getting back at Nerdy because there was a post that she had posted, and she had admitted, that she had some issues with alcohol. And I mean, when I say some issues, there was like a lot of bottles around. And I grew up with, and I was on the border of being an alcoholic, and so it really hit me. I'm like, wow, that takes a lot of bravery to get help. It takes a lot of bravery to be honest about a situation like that. And she was mentioning that, he had some videos of her also, but he didn't show them, and she was just being very candid about the situation. And you had somebody in the comments, and there was a couple of really rude ones, but the one that I particularly thought was the rudest, I did comment on. Um, and it said to her, "You're a horrible human and you don't deserve him." Well, I think that it takes a horrible human to say that to her and shame her for doing the right thing. And so that's exactly what I wrote. Thank you, little Miss Sharon. That's exactly what I wrote. Ooh, Denise, be careful with that tornado. Oh my goodness. I just think of the Joplin tornado when I think of tornadoes, and just, oh my gosh. It brings me back, even though I wasn't in Joplin at the time, I was in Springfield. Well, I had some mixed feelings, Seclusion. I still do. Um, Mom Marissa. I will, Miss Ann. I'll give you a ring for sure. Oh Lord, really, Gina? Well, shortly after, he had another one too, He had another person that put an RO on him, because it's what kind of guy he is, that's what he's doing with his life, I watch every few creators faithfully, and I've never done a super chat till last night at Lady Freedom. Aw, thank you. Thanks, NorCal SoGal. That's so sweet of you. Aw. I know. I'm so new to the super stickers and super chats and all that kind of stuff too. Hey, Liberty, good to see you. Yeah, but I mean, that's the way we really, because I mean, AdSense is very stingy. We'll just put it that way. They're stingy. They're stingy, and if you want to make it, you really got to push out content a lot, you really do, because then, per views, per ads, right? That's how they pay us. But then the memberships, that's why you guys are so important. Your memberships are so important to keep us going. The super stickers and super chats really too, you know. Oh my gosh, Seclusion, I had a blast, and I'm here to tell you, um, there is way more good in Tennessee in that area than there is bad. Way, way more, but I think that, when we go looking for things, we find, right? Seek and thee shall find. And I did seek out and I did find. And so I found from both perspectives, right? Um, so yeah, it's just a lot, but I had a wonderful time and I felt very welcome and very blessed to be there and um just really, really want to find Sebastian. And now I'm just like a dog with a bone, even more so, you know? That's right. Mama Marissa says, yes, ma'am. Prayer changes things. My faith will not waver. Exactly. And that's it. And it's so strong to stand in that, and to be of faith because it's tough, right? It's not easy. It's hard, but it's rewarding, you know? It's rewarding. And Brenda Sue, Seth just wants to find his son. He just wants to find his son. And I have a feeling that if Sebastian was to just come home when he's 18, Seth would just take him away and, we wouldn't see or hear from them again, right? He would just be happy to have him. And that's my opinion. Hey, Lisa King. They don't use the brain. They have a brain, they just don't use it. Veronica, I don't think they have a brain inside their head. Oh, it's just, well, who can I follow? EG said a few nights ago, maybe KP was, and a few other scenarios. Yeah, I did see that. I did, that was really gross. I've never speculated on that, to be honest. Thanks, Holly, of course. I liked Eva when I saw her. I was like, oh, she looks like a nice girl. Um, yeah, my heart went out to her. I was like, wow, you're brave as hell. What it reminded me of is Betty White's comment, or what did she, there's like a meme of Betty White. I put it in my videos before, but she says, I don't know why everybody says you have to have balls. She says, she's so funny. She's like, a P word can really take a pounding or something like that. And balls are soft. I don't know. It's hilarious. I'm misquoting her completely, but because I'm laughing. But um, oh my gosh, Betty White. I just picture her like little Betty White saying it, and it just cracks me up. Um, but yeah, it took a major JJ to do that. So yeah. And I'm praying for them. I hope they have a beautiful life. You know what I'm saying? Things happen in the past, and all we can do is move forward and do better. And that's all of us. I mean, when you're really going through stuff, it's easy just to lean on like, something that will take your mind off of and numb things. It's very easy. What's harder is standing and saying, you know what? I can't believe I did that when I was drinking. I can't believe I hurt people I did. And, yeah. So never shame anybody for that. That should be commended, in my opinion. Yeah, yeah, Daffy, and we're all like, I love what Jen said yesterday about, no, none of us are the best, parents of the year, right? Like if you have that award, send it over. We'll highlight you in our episodes. We will. But I mean, all of us, and that's another thing too. Um, it takes a lot to be like, hey, I wasn't being as good of a parent as I would have been if I hadn't have been, say drinking or whatever. And so yeah, I mean, and that comes down to Seth too. Seth has come into the chat and said he wishes he would done things differently too. And in my opinion, I would rather work with a parent that's willing to say that than parents that are willing to say, oh no, I didn't do that. I'm going to minimize my actions and act like, oh, it's all good. It's okay. No, it's actually not okay. And as a result, Sebastian's missing, right? And how, without a conscience, could you, unless you didn't have, excuse me, unless you didn't have a conscience, you wouldn't come to that conclusion or that realization, right? You would say, oh, everything I did was 100% perfect and my son's still missing, so, but I was perfect. No. The sheer fact that they won't take accountability is a big red flag. Seclusion says I was in cuffs in college for drunk in public. Well, hell, and then that's the thing. I mean, that's again why, Riley's story hit me because I'm like looking at videos in Nashville and they got like the party buses and things. And it's like, man, in college, that would be like a college person's, dream to be out there having a good old time and, having fun with their friends, listening to music, going bar hopping, clubbing, whatever you want to call it. And it is a fun thing and stuff like that. But in the same way, when it takes over, um, it's a whole nother ball game. But when it does that and you're willing to stand up and say, yeah, this is what happened, this is my story, like, I mean, I'm going to support that all day long. So Rosebud says, but remember when CP said that KP and Seth went behind his back and let Sebastian on the internet when CP took it away? Who put him in charge? Well, that's true, Rosebud. And that's a great point, and I do remember that. And that's the thing, like he was even getting pissy about Sebastian taking online courses. Like who the fudge is he? You know? I could never let somebody control me like that. Like, especially if you're not like I just go back to thinking about all the shit that I let Olivia's dad do to me, and how badly he did control every move and, manipulate shit and it's like I can't imagine allowing for that when it's a stepdad though, you know, because I done put that boundary up with all and walls and all of that with all of them after my ex-husband because I'm like, no, you ain't gonna tell me. First of all, you're not my dad. You're not gonna tell me what to do, you know? And so I was like, you should have caught me like, years ago, and you would have been able to probably, pull one over on me like that, but you're not now. I've learned too much. Hey, women's warrior, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Kiki says when we were walking out of the Texas Roadhouse, I was telling the ladies that Texas Roadhouse would be a great place to hand out Sebastian's flyer. The amount of people there every day is crazy. I mean, Sunday was packed, yo. I mean, that place was like banging on a Sunday. Like, I mean, Saturday was busy, right? Like, there was a lot of people in there, but Sunday, oh my goodness, people were like out to eat steak on a Sunday or whatever. They have salmon, they have shrimp, they have chicken. As a matter of fact, what did I get? Oh yes, I got chicken Caesar salad when I went the first day. When Jen and I went out, and Jeff and like, we were all like, I think they got salmon and shrimp, so we were kind of staked out because we had steak, at the excuse me, I almost called it rib fest at a pig fest. So, but yeah, that little area, the foyer, and I took a good video of the foyer right there, or foyer, whichever one you guys want to call it. I know it's said both ways. Tomato, tomato. Oh, Daffy Dog, I'm so sorry. Oh, you have a tumor? Where? Oh my goodness. Are they going to give you chemo? Oh, really? Brenda C said QB got BJ down for 7 days and they're all laughing about it. That's how she gets income. Oh my God. What did she take her down for? I can't imagine what they would have taken her out for. Oh God. I'm just gonna say this. I can't imagine what they would have taken her out for that they couldn't have taken Queen out for. I'm just saying, you know. Ooh, Rosebud says The House of Dark Shadows is on TCM right now. I saw it in theaters in 1970. Cool, Rosebud. Guys, we're about in Halloween. We're about to hit Halloween. I don't know what the hell I'm going to be for Halloween. I'm not going to tell you guys. I'm just going to show up on camera looking like someone. I don't know who, you know. I want Jules to dress up like the Dragon Mama that I play in the intro. Yeah, but instead of dragons, I want her to have Gator and Ara because she resembles the Dragon Mama with her long blonde hair, you know. So, aw, hey, Juicy Jules. He is. Yeah, yeah, he is. He cares about his son. You know, that's his buddy, man. How could it's just like he misses him, you know? Yes, yes, Little Miss Sharon, Betty White in the movie Feeding the Croc. I mean, Golden Girls, and then she had that show Off Their Rockers where the old people would prank the young people. Oh my God. I used to laugh so hard at that. That's one of my favorites. Out of all the prank shows that's ever been, you know, like I love Impractical Jokers too, but like out of all the prank shows, Betty White, it's called Off Their Rockers. Oh my gosh, you guys have to watch it. They totally punk young people and it's absolutely hilarious. That's right, Mama Marissa. We all have flaws and we would have done differently when they saw how wonderful they are. Watch out, liars. Or when they say, yeah, how wonderful they are. Yeah, they're tooting their own horn. Exactly. Well said. They're tooting their own horn over there and like, oh, you know, we're just great. We're wonderful. We've never done anything wrong. How about we've never lied to the police before? You know, get nervous on that question. You know, we're perfect angel. Yeah, sure. You know, I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, most of us, you know, as Christians believe that, you know, the Lord sent his only son to die for our sins. So, I mean, we're all sinners. We just all are. And we don't always make the right choice, right? That's why it's always good to pray on it and consult God, process through it, all of that, because, you know, um, we make better decisions through him than we do our own way of thinking, you know? Yes, I did. I did Seclusion. I got some great footage at the Texas Roadhouse. I really did. I really did. I even got somebody taking to goes out. I mean, but I want to I want to blur a lot of people out, right? Because I don't want like people going after these young servers and, you know, hostesses and people, you know what I'm saying? Because people are so nuts. We'll go tracking them down. I saw her picture. I want to go find out who she is. You know, Lady Freedom, thank you for sharing your story and honesty. All of us are good parents. Think back and question what we could have done better or differently. Yeah, thank you, NorCal SoGal. That's right. And I mean, it's just even something little like, I mean, we try our best, right? We want better for our kids than we had, and sometimes that can even cloud our judgment, you know? Miss Sharon. And it does, it clouds our judgment, you know? I mean, even my dad had to tell me, like, because I used to say to him, like, "Why do you always let her get dirty?" Like, she'd be outside playing in the mud with my dad, you know, in their garden, and I'm like, "Don't let her get dirty," you know, because I was a new mom and I didn't realize, you know? He's like, "You gotta let her build up her immune system." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, you're right," you know? The tumor might be between the lung and heart. I don't know. I won't know for sure for a few days. Oh, Daffy Dog, keep us posted. We're gonna pray for you. Everybody pray for Daffy Dog, please. Um, Gosh, that's so scary. That's so scary. Yes. Yes, exactly, Mom Marissa. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, you know, so much stuff has to be kept close, you know. Um, I love Cabernet, Denise. I'm a red wine girl, you know what I mean? I don't do the I if I drink like white wine, which I love like a good Pinot Grigio, but I get a headache. Like, it doesn't even matter. I'll have 1 glass and I'll just get a headache from it for some reason. So I don't know if it's like whatever. It's maybe it's the green grapes or something. I don't know. But I like red wine. They even have a whiskey barrel aged wine um that I really enjoy. And I love cooking with wine too. Like if you make chicken, you want to do a nice white, makes a really, really, really nice chicken. And also, if you're doing steak or, beef and stuff like that, red wine, yeah. So we had not done Halloween since we moved into this house. No children come up to our door for Halloween. The first year we were in here, I bought candy and we ended up having to eat it. Miss Ann, I feel that. Missouri is that way because I even put a bowl of candy out for the kids one year. And those were just for like the kids at our apartment because I didn't think anybody would come up because we were kind of living in the country a little bit. But we had all kinds of candy left over. Nate was over there eating it. He likes like, he's more of a sweets person than I am. Yeah. Yeah. There's some really nice craft beers too, Seclusion. Um, really, really nice ones. And those ones you have to be careful with because I mean you gotta check and see what the percentage is on those puppies because they're higher, but the taste is, out of this world. Oh my gosh, I'm so impressed with and so grateful for Captain Jules. I am. I was so super impressed with Canine Captain Jules last night and staying involved with Sebastian's case and sharing her insights. Yes, me too. Yes, absolutely. And, just all of the work that she does, guys, behind the scenes is amazing. I just love having her up on the panel talking, answering questions. It's fantastic. Fantastic. Impractical Jokers is so good, right? Bliss? Oh my goodness. Met Murr in Mexico. Oh my gosh, really? How cool. Oh, that is so cool. I would love to meet those guys. Yes. Yes, Impractical Jokers and Off Their Rockers. It's so funny. Those guys are so funny because they like show what they're saying to the person, and the person has to repeat it. It is like, oh my gosh, I would love to do that. Um, I love doing stuff like that and trying to keep a straight face. Oh my gosh, it's the best. It's the absolute best in the world. And that's what gets me, guys, no matter what drink or whatever, drug, whatever, laughing is the best medicine, in my opinion. Laughter it can get us through, right? So, oh, did you make a New Year's resolution? Little Miss Sharon. Yeah. Well, and it's about like because it is fun, right? Like it is fun to party every day, and then you realize you're like, I'm doing too much of that. And am I numb? Am I using this as a crutch, right? I mean, yeah. It takes a strong, insightful, self-aware person. It really does. Oh, lovable mama bear. Yes, these kids are a gift from God. God bless each of them. They don't deserve to be treated like this. It's so wrong. So we will keep on talking about them. That's right. We're going to keep on talking about them. We're going to keep on searching for them, whatever we have to do. If I have to keep on traveling around, I will do it. I will do it for sure. Yeah, I certainly do too, Veronica. I think we pretty much do go to bed thinking about Sebastian and wake up thinking about him. I've never let someone that I didn't know get so far into my thoughts, but he's dug in there and I'm okay with it. Aw, Veronica, yeah. And that's what it's about. It's about seeing and feeling for another person's situation. And I think that's what's so beautiful here too. But just looking at Sebastian, it's like it's very easy to do. I wish they would do more advocacy, Mom Marissa. I do. I do. Versus seclusion. Yeah, I think he I agree with that, CC, because I go back and forth with, agreeing, disagreeing. I will say he's interesting, but I just don't know how much of it is performative. That's my thing. I see him as being very fake, and also just when you're down with like hating the hate channels, and then you act like you're not, and then you act like you're a reasonable person, but you're really still down with that. It's just like I said, fake performative in my opinion. But no shade, and he can be whoever he wants to be. He has to live with himself. So, and I think he does have internal battles. It's very obvious. That part's obvious. If you observe him, you can see the internal battle, right? So somewhere along the lines, he was raised properly, in my opinion. But then the battle comes in. So, he's battling between, you know, making his audience happy, and um Chris and Katie, and not rocking the boat too much, staying on the side of, oh, because especially when you have somebody is seemingly intelligent enough to understand that that's not how the law works, nor does how warrants work, that just because one person's going to get a warrant means the other person's going to get a warrant. And like I was using the example, if Jules and I had a child in common, and they went missing from my house, just because they come and search my house doesn't mean that they're going to search Jules's house, right? Because especially if Jules was at work, especially if Jules took a polygraph test, especially if the evidence and the information that they need is at my house. Jules and I no longer live together. We just have the child in common that's missing, right? Logically speaking, in any other case, if they say they fall asleep to crime dramas and crime shows and whatnot, they should know that, you know? We all check Little Red to see what's happened, if anything's changed, if they found Sebastian. Absolutely. Every morning. And then we are bombarded by the shit show. Thank you, Daffy Dog. We'll pray for you. Yes, Brenda, you have to drink water. You have to drink water. That's another thing that people don't understand when they're drinking anything, really. Alcohol is going to dehydrate you. So, water is your best friend, and don't just, slam shit, keep pace yourself. Excuse me. I try not to cough in your guys' ear, but yeah, I mean, you don't want to go wild. That's why when I see kids like slamming stuff, or like beer bonging and stuff like that, I'm like, oh my God, you know what I mean? Because it does. It's like it like hits you, I mean, it takes a while to metabolize in your system, and then all of a sudden you're like, it's shitty. Women's Warrior says most important thing as parents we can do for our children is to be approachable. Boom, Women's Warrior. Yes, and our children needs our authority, but when something is wrong, they need to be able to reach out immediately for our help. Thank you, Women's Warrior. That is so important. And that's one thing that I always recognized with my daughter. It's like I want her to come to me and know that she's not going to be in trouble if she calls me at 3 in the morning and she needs me to come get her, because I would rather her call me to come get her than her call someone else. Right. So we have to be approachable. Or if she's got a problem, I want her to tell me so I can help her navigate through it, rather than maybe one of her friends telling her, and maybe, because they're of the same mentality and age and experience. I would rather her come to me and let me tell her some advice, coming from a mother, coming from a place of having her best interest at heart, coming from someone who loves her. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. Most important thing as parents that we can do for our children is be approachable. Be approachable and be the voice of reason, that authority, that absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much, Women's Warrior. That is on target. Bliss Blessing says our neighborhood has a hot spot for trick or treating. I've been in my house 17 years, and it's traditional, and it's tradition. that I make chicken spaghetti every year. Always a fun time. Ooh, chicken spaghetti sounds good. That reminds me of like chicken parmesan, which I love. Hmm. Yeah, it's true. As you get older too, Holly, right? Because you're like, ah, it hits different, right? You're like, oh my God, what have I done to my, why do I keep doing this to myself, you know? So wine works if you're seducing someone. It is quite sexy, isn't it? That's funny. Yeah, ordering pizza. Pizza is a good one for Halloween. Yeah, it's a good night, you know. Good time to order pizza. Yes, she did, Mama Marissa. Jules shared so much information that I needed to hear. Same here. Well, and especially when Chris is coming out with this new information, which is maybe just a new lie, in my opinion. You know, we were talking at the Texas Roadhouse about the ways in which Katie could have gotten home. And on one of the routes is that damn area. And I'm not saying GD or, you know, dam area. I mean DAM, you know, a dam area. So that might explain how Sebastian would have gotten there if he didn't make it home. But the problem is that the time in which it took Katie to get home, there wasn't a whole lot of room to stick around an area, right? There wasn't a whole lot of time there. And that's what really gets my goat, right? So the major time that she does have is from the time that they get home, excuse me, from the Texas Roadhouse to the, you know, 6:38 a.m. phone call, you know? So that's where, you know, we're still trying to piece it all together, you know, and law enforcement, in my opinion, and we've heard Tony say it too, has mountains of evidence, you know? But at the end of the day, it's never going to be good enough for Seth until his son's found, you know? Hey, Jacqueline Blaine, thanks for being here. Joe is my friend's cousin. Cool, cool, cool. And Dumbass J had her sounding bad along with TL. That makes me upset. Oh my. I know, it's all a crap show. This case drives me to drink. It's hilarious. I know, right? It's like it's nice to have a glass of wine after. My goodness, gross. I'm definitely not seducing it. Denise, are you sure? Oh, margaritas. Yes, yes. I love margaritas. The best margaritas are with Grand Marnier, hands down. If you have a shot of Grand Marnier in there with that, like a Patron, a nice tequila. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, so. We are blessed in Florida says we are truly blessed with Captain K9 Jules. She is so knowledgeable and willing to share with your chat. Yes, yes. She's amazing. Ooh, wine and Godiva. Yes. Well, and you know, it is a natural afro on here. That's funny. Oh no, did you get your post erased, Brenda? I had my post erased. You know who did it? No, I'm just teasing. I was in Little Reds last night and somebody erased my comment, but I won't say who did it, but it's a friend of mine and I was giving her hell about it. I was like, you erased my comment? What? And she didn't mean to though. Mom Marissa says, I know so many of you feel as I do. Sebastian seems like part of my family. Exactly, Mom Marissa. That's it. That is it. You know, I mean, it's just we've gotten to know him in many different ways throughout this, and that was one thing that really got me. I just wish I would have known him, I just wish I would have known Sebastian, you know? Yeah, I get it with Brenda too, you know? Aw, little red says my adopted brother passed from sclerosis of the, I always say that word wrong, cirrhosis of the liver. He was 51. Oh my gosh, girl, that's so young. This was 2 months ago. I do not drink much. It's ridiculous. He was too young, but has a drinking problem. Yeah, absolutely. And it does, like, it does totally mess up our organs, right? When it's too much, you know? Yeah. Yeah, and it just causes issues too. Like when you're doing it too much, it's like it's a selfish thing, it's like anything. Like it's like the rat at the pellet bar, like gimme, 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 gimme. Yeah, it's sad. Yeah, very inauthentic, And then there was like a lot of like weird um like references, like I'm a cop, I'm not, or whatever. Like I'm like, who cares, I mean, just because I went to nursing school back when I was what, I think I was like 22 or 3 back then, doesn't mean that I'm a nurse now. I mean, just because you have certifications or, you took some classes, some schooling, whatever, it doesn't mean anything really. I mean, especially when things have changed so much, right? Um, in the medical field or in, policing and all of that. I think it's just more of like, you know, he's trying to make himself out to be more important than he is, in my opinion. That's right, CC. That's right. Many people in recovery are true warriors and use those bad life choices to go on and do great things if they make it through. 100%. You know, think about pulling yourself out of a deep, dark hole, an abyss. That takes guts. He lives on certain events and and I'm like, OMG. Yep, just hold on to that, right? I remember back in 1962 when I did this. It's like, well, big freaking deal. That's right. Call if you need me no matter what. That's right. Yeah, and they're not going to call if they don't feel comfortable doing that. Figna. Hey, Adam Forever 21. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, the new lies just keep on a coming. They just keep on a coming. They sure do. Aw, we love Mama Marissa. Water all day is a good thing. Yeah, I drink a lot of water too. I do. And I like my vitamin water. The what is it? The pomegranate one? Oh man, that's my jam. I love it. I buy it in like the little bottles. Um, yes, I did, Little Red. I did. Yeah. Yeah. And Sebastian's missing post or excuse me, the yard sign is not at the school anymore. There's another sign there for the yearbook. It's like a QR code for the yearbook. I remember where all of his signs were located, all on the way home from the Texas Roadhouse, and none of them are up. The only sign that's up is in Katie and Chris's yard, and that one is still up. That one is still up. I'm not going to lie on them, you know what I'm saying? And that's the thing that's different between them and me, in my opinion, is that they would be willing to just lie for them. I'm not willing to do that, you know. So, Yeah, Holly, this is true. I tell my daughter it's not you I don't trust, it's some of these other yahoos, yahoos out there. Right? Exactly. Yeah. And that's the thing, and sometimes it's not like the best to go to your friends and talk it out with your friends, even though, sometimes you need to do it with someone who's more experienced or that sort of thing, or counseling is always really good. And that's the one thing that's very important for these families. And the same thing I asked Jessica, are you seeing a counselor? And she said, oh, yes. After Devlin went missing, I definitely went, and I'm talking to a therapist, a shrink, she says, you know, um, and that's important. I can't tell you guys how many times that I've called the domestic violence hotline, um, dealing with my ex-husband, like still like stalking me and harassing me after we were divorced and doing things to me. And then I would apologize to them and they would say, no, you don't understand how many times we get calls just like this, right? Because people need the help. And I was always like, I don't want to take it away from somebody who's actually getting the crap knocked out of them, right? Because I know how serious that is. But there were times that I needed to talk to somebody right then because I was letting myself get into a bad mindset. My PTSD symptoms would be off the charts again, because I worked really hard to suppress them and to work through them. I've done a lot of different therapies for it, but sometimes you still just need to talk to somebody. Sometimes it's 2 in the morning and your counselor's not available. That's what those hotlines are for. The National Center for Domestic Violence hotline, it's a gem. Same thing for the Suicide hotline, and I know I can't say that word here. It's a part of life that people do take their own lives when it's so bad, right? And they need that resource. So it's very important. And whenever you need that kind of help, please reach out. You won't regret it. And you're not bothering anybody. You're not inconveniencing anybody. You're doing the right thing for yourself and what you need to do to keep yourself going. Hey, his eyes. Thanks for being here. So if you need that, don't ever be afraid. Little Miss Sharon says, Lady Freedom, the other side of the coin, Sebastian could have been taken to uh, detention. Oh, to the retention pond at 3 a.m. Just a thought. Well, I was thinking that too. I don't see how anybody would have been able to evade the cameras in the neighborhood. Like Sebastian, Katie, anyone, right? And I know there were some cars in the neighborhood that night, you know? Oh my gosh, seclusion works. I love the watermelon Sour Patch things. I still have some for my trip because I was eating those on the way. That was part of my snacks. Snacks. And I still have some, and I have some Swedish fish because I like those too. And that was part of my snacks. I had sun chips because I like those. But you need to have sugar, right? Sugar and coffee kept me going. Um, yeah, it's no bueno at all. Exactly. Yeah. In my opinion, playing around like your LE or in the no of LE is no bueno, all in a missing kid's name. Exactly. Yeah. Or making fun of Seth. I mean, who does that? Who actually does that? That's a good way to start crap, you know? Women's Warrior says, Lady, I think we all uh, holds Sebastian and Seth's supportive community should have dressed up as CP for Halloween. Taste of his own medicine. Let's stoop to his level. We're classy folks here. That's funny. Oh my gosh, I can't imagine. That would be too funny though. Goodness sakes. OMG, I don't think the sign should ever go down. No, no, they shouldn't. I know. I know. And trust me, I was looking for them, you know. Don't any locals stop and visit about Sebastian while you were at the Pig Fest? No, they didn't. They didn't. But the girls that were serving the food, some of them had went to school with Sebastian, you know. But I will say everybody at the Pig Fest was very nice and courteous and kind. But again, you know, I was being that way with them as well. So, you know, it does um you know, say a lot when you're, you know, because if I hadn't have been that way to them, they might not have been that way to me, and that would have been understandable, right? You have to show respect to get it, you know. So I mean, I was there, you know, to support Sebastian, you know. He's who matters. So thank you, Holly S. We're working on it. We are working on it. And thank God for little Redo. And, you know, we're doing everything we can, you know, and thank God for you guys who care so much about or excuse me, care so much about Devlin's case. Because I know a lot of you are here because of Sebastian, you know. I've tried the nerds clusters. I like the nerds just plain, you know. But yeah, it's not bad, Paige. But the first time I was like, what is this like gummy stuff? Aw, Daffy Dog says, when I lost my husband in 2003, I thought I was going to lose my mind, and I did get counseling. Good, Daffy Dog. Yeah, and that's it, you know, like you feel like you are losing it, right? Because you're just grieving so hard, like your heart's broken, you know, you need to pick the pieces up, you know, you need to heal. And the only way we can do that is finding ways to cope, you know, coping mechanisms. It's a huge thing, you know, and it does help. There is no problem getting help and asking for it. The problem is when you don't ask and receive help and wait the last minute. Every minute counts, in my opinion. I agree with that completely. Well said, Chuchi. That's right. That's right. You know, you have to ask because sometimes people don't know. And you know, if you're like me, you know, I use humor to mask my feelings sometimes, right? I'll make a joke about it, you know, when it's kind of inappropriate to make a joke, in my opinion, right? Um, you know, and it does help us cope with it, but we can find better skills, right? To really help. Because humor is a good one, but if you're always laughing at a problem and never fixing it, that's also, you know, that's not productive, right? Um, I couldn't. I would never allow for that. I would never allow for that. As a matter of fact, I would, in my experience, I would always make sure that whoever I was with was not ever trying to fight with my ex-husband. I always took that. I always put myself in the front. I never allowed for another man to talk to my daughter's father that way, even though he's not a good person in my opinion. I would never allow for that. There'd be a quick way to divorce. Or that would be, I've never been married again, but it would be a quick, you know, way to make me leave. We didn't know how to dress like Chris either, Mama Marissa. That's too funny. We dress like a butthole. We could just come up here and dress like a butthole. You know, a butt hat. No, I'm just I figured that Pigfest was going to be just fine and everyone was going to be kind. Yeah, I thought so too, Holly. Like I went back and forth, but then when I see the sponsorships, of course, I'm like, what in the hell is going on? You know? And I'm like, wait a minute. But then we find out, you know, that it's not what was going on at all. And you know, you have this idiot talking about speaking of ass hats, we have, you know, Clue over here perpetuating crap and saying, "Oh, they don't want Sebastian there. You don't know how to make money." and then she's not even there. So, and she, you know, she would wear a mullet and an orange shirt. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I wonder if I could like fashion my hair into a mullet. I wonder if I could get like what are those oh my gosh, like rockabilly things. What are they called? From like the 50s or whatever, and fashion like the front and then like the back into a mullet. Put some pork chop juice in it. Ah, Butter Biscuit. Hey, Butter Biscuit. I believe we get drawn in by one missing person. Sadly, the list of missing grows, and we make room in our hearts for them too. That's right, Butter Biscuit. Yeah, that's right. And that's what happened with me and Devlin's case. That's exactly what happened. It was like, come on in, buddy, and especially seeing him at Bob's. I think that really helps too, is seeing videos of people who are missing to get their mannerisms, to get their essence, the essence of who they are. And I think that that really draws us in too. And we think about it and we're like, wow, this kid needs us. He really needs us. And we hear about Devlin getting the electric cut off and him having to stay at the laundromat and charge his phone. There was no abuse. Yeah. Well, show me some proof that there was no abuse, because I have a mountain of proof that there was. Holly, a mullet, orange shirt, and just walk around screaming profanities. Oh my goodness. Aw, Kiki says Lady F, Mike just came in from golf and he said hi to you. Aw, hi Mike. Good to see you, hon. I hope you had a good game. Aw, that's so sweet. I got out a mask of CP. I don't want to scare you guys that bad on Halloween. If you guys just see me, I do my intro and all of a sudden it's just Chris's face on mine. Oh Lord, help us all. Hey, Nancy Fleming. No, don't you guys ask me anything about Pigfest. Ask me anything, please. Don't be sorry. I am also sorry for asking again about Pigfest. Did someone call and they said you guys couldn't have a booth, but when you got there it was different? So that's a great question. So basically how it went was that um there was phone calls made, right? Like Seth even talked to Andy Gilly. And it was told, that it's not that they didn't want Sebastian's flyers to be out there. It's just that they did have sponsorizing out there. So right, so that is one thing about it. Um, so that part is true in essence. However, once they realized that Sebastian's, that people were upset, right? That Sebastian wasn't quote unquote allowed to be there, right? Because I mean, the connections are undeniable, right? It's a small area though. And it's growing, but it's a small area. So, but yes, Mr. Gilly does support finding Sebastian, and he is a good guy who in 2020 saw the need for this and decided that he was going to start donating to charities and things like that, right? And so he did offer to let Seth set up a booth if he wanted to, right? But because of everything and because of all the nastiness that was going on, Seth doesn't want to put himself in the nastiness, right? He just wants his son to be found. And so that was the disconnect there. There was a miscommunication and a disconnect, in my opinion. And then you have, the nasty people coming out of the woodwork and, puffing up their chest and saying, "Oh, look," which it wasn't the case, right? Not the case at all. So, and I think that, like I said before, everybody there really truly knows about Sebastian being missing. I think it was better for me to be doing research on the different aspects of what could have happened to Sebastian while I was there. And so I think everything works out for a reason, in my opinion. And I was glad to be a part of that. I don't think so, Butter Biscuit. I didn't see them there. And if they were such big sponsors and stuff, why weren't they at the big dinner? The expensive dinner, in my opinion. They know who Clue is now. That's right, Gina. And that's another thing. They didn't understand that part either. You know, Brenda the Joe Dirt wig. Which one? He had like a Rasta wig in the end. Mhm. Seclusion. Hey, Sandwich. Do you know if Queen used that 1K B Tim donated to her to sponsor Pigfest? I don't know. I don't know. I was guessing that maybe they gave her her money back and that's why she didn't go. That was my wild guess, was that they were like, "We don't want your $1,000 because we don't want you associated with this." I mean, all they have to do is go watch her, which I heard that people were definitely letting everyone know who she really is, you know? Yeah, it's not real. A lot of it's manufactured. That's why I was saying earlier, I was like, I wonder if that was all manufactured, but then we find out that no, that was like a fight they were having, that was posted by Eva, and she had admitted that and everything. And I mean, I don't know, my heart just goes out, and I pray for a good life for those two. um I think they're lucky to have each other, and and at the end of the day, that's what love is. It's accepting somebody for who they are, and trying to make them a better person, in that regard as well, because when you love somebody, you want good things for them. When there's true unconditional love, that's what it means. It's unconditional, you know so yeah, it would be hard to be CNC. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't be, or excuse me, it wouldn't be hard to be CNC. Yeah. Well, and they came up acting like jerks, and that's who they are, and it's not an accurate representation of the area. I'm here to tell you, I think festivals outside the area would be good, Gina. I do. I think even standing outside, somewhere and talking, or even going to, excuse me, going even to somewhere like to a location, say, and just handing out flyers there could spread more awareness. No, I heard they were in Virginia. They were in Virginia at some like timeshare or something. um as far as I know, you know but I wasn't worried. Like, if I saw them, I would just go in the opposite direction. I don't associate again with people like that. I don't want to be seen near them. I don't want to, look at them. Um, yes, Indigo. Thanks for being here, Indigo. Sebastian's birthday is December 7th. Sandwich says, remember Clue was supposed to go to church that day too and turned around. They scare him off. Mofos. Yeah. I mean, they're just liars. I don't know how they have anybody that watches them and listens to it. Um, dressed like Clue. Oh man. Just remember, some creators dramatize the pig fest. Yes, Mama Rissa. Boom. This is it right here. Just remember, some creators dramatize the pig fest for clicks and views. Sorry, some of these creators are crystal clear as to who they really are. Yes. Yes, and they're willing to lie to the people who send them, a super chat or a super sticker. They're willing to lie to people who are willing to be members of their community and paid to be a member, or watch their videos, right? Because we can't keep going without that. And instead of them being grateful for that, they play their audience. And it's really sick, but you know, they're there for it. They're willing to spend their hard-earned money on it. Sometimes they don't have it to give and they give it anyway, you know? Aw, thanks, Sandwich. Lady Freedom said, you being on the ground is such a relief for us to know that the town ain't shady as we thought. Yeah, I mean, it's sad. It's sad because, there are so many good people, Sandwich, and like I feel like they're getting a bad rap too. And of course they're going to be defensive on that, That's their town. That's where they grew up. That's where you should always be proud of where you came from. Always. And never forget where you came from, no matter what, good, bad, or indifferent. And that's their town. They should be prideful about it. And it's not fair that Chris and Katie have dragged everybody through the mud, in my opinion, and turned that into the crap that it is not, And so well said by Mama Marissa, and we have to do better as YouTube creators, and we need to be more keen to this stuff. That's why I'm so like honest about it, because I want you guys to realize that these people are like alts. It's the same person, but there's like 4 or 5 different accounts of them, and they play different persons online. And we don't know that because it's just an avatar. It's like right now I could set up a YouTube account and come in here as a different chatter, and I could pretend that I'm a different person and nobody would know the difference. Oh, hi guys, I'm new here. My name is, Piss Off 72, you know? And you guys would be like, "Hey," right? Because we don't know the difference. I didn't know that's how it worked. I've dealt with these people personally, and that's the only reason I know who and what they're doing, you know? Clue does not represent Hendersonville, in my opinion. Gina, thank you. Guys, they have in the charities, and we looked into the charities of Pigfest. My favorite is Grace's Place. My very favorite one out of all of them, and I know Christmas for Kids is super fun, and I get it, and Live Love Nashville. Thank you to them for supplying the snacks and the dinner for the search for Sebastian. But there's connections as well, and but it doesn't, at the end of the day, they're doing something good to help, right? They're not Cluminati and Cletus. That's for damn sure. That is for damn sure. And I'm here to tell you, you know. Thank you, Sandwich. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, and you guys are a great representation for him as well. You know, to be honest, I've lived here 11 years and Pigfest was never on my radar, in my opinion. Yeah, and I think Chris was baiting us and taunting us, and that's what criminals do. They'll even taunt law enforcement. Look at Adam Montgomery. Oh, you're never going to find Harmony. What a jerk. No, she doesn't represent Gallatin either. There's some really, really, exactly. And there's some really nice homes there where people actually do make money, work hard for what they have, and they certainly aren't okay with that. Any of that. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. In the words of Cletus 2-1 dressing as Clue. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. 2-1 dressing as Clue. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh Lord. Ooh, breaking news. Man shot in Manhattan, suspect found. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you so much, IML. They did create a whole mess, didn't they? Yeah, his mommy bought him the pink shirt and he wore it, you know. Yeah. Why wasn't he wearing his orange like he likes, you know? Tomorrow there's gonna be a troll named you know? And it's like no matter how many times we play that clip of Chris talking about how he was the one that came up with the idea to start a GoFundMe for himself, they still don't listen. You know, it's unbelievable. NorCal Gal says Hendersonville is a lovely community and generally pretty safe for families, more good than bad, in my opinion. I think so too. I think so too. And I think the feeling that I got within that neighborhood was because of Chris and Katie, and it was because of what happened to Sebastian, in my opinion. And that's when I got a bad feeling. It's like a sinking feeling. Yeah. Well, that's true. Mama Marissa, even though those proclaiming to be Sebastian's army clicked and viewed the heck out of Pigfest. Yes, they did. Yes, I agree. Yep, they have definitely mucked up the town. Yeah. And most people are just, it's a sore subject for them, you know? Neuro V, I was gonna apply for it. I changed the Sabrina in my name because I don't want to keep chatting by my first name. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know Better Biscuit. I don't know why they're doing that. I really don't. It keeps changing back. Yeah, and the sponsors aren't the shady ones. They did that after the fact, right? They did that after the fact. They wanted to exert their authority or their control or whatever. Oh, look at me, I can give $1,000. Well, so can anybody else. I mean, at the end of the day, where's Sebastian? Pigfest was like the tip of the iceberg. It's just, you know, I mean, and there are some people that don't want to hear about Sebastian anymore, and that's sad to me. Because if it was your kid, you would want people to look for him still if you had nothing to do with it. I get it's not a topic that people enjoy because it's sad. Nobody wants to think about Sebastian being missing like this. But the problem is here on YouTube, we've actually witnessed Katie saying things like, "Oh, I hope he doesn't fall to the bottom of a feed somewhere." But then again, she goes on, one of these hate channels, or mainly Chris does, and they want to talk about anything but him. They want to talk about frivolous lawsuits. We talked about it yesterday. They want to be a part of a frivolous lawsuit. Who sues the parent of a missing child? What kind of crap ass does that? Yeah, and that part's sad too, Butter Biscuit. Hey, Mark. Yeah, 2222, that was my guess also. Yeah, I mean, they don't want those two representing anybody. You know, they're gross. Also not cool because it goes to kids and we're thinking that they are shady at Pigfest. What if it turned off others from going and donating? Great point, IML. Great point. Grace's Place takes in women and children, and they not only take them in, but they make sure that they're going to be okay. They give them the tools and the resources and the energy and the love, right? That it takes when you're getting out of an abusive relationship like that. It empowers women, right? It helps to educate them. It helps them to get a job. It helps them to sustain themselves and their families. Because when you're in an abusive relationship and you're trying to get out of it, that is one thing that your abuser loves to use against you. How are you going to make it on your own? How are you going to do it without me? Nobody else will ever love you. It's all lies. And when you're out of it and you understand that and you get it and you're empowered, there's no stopping you. And that's what Grace's Place does for women, in my opinion, from the research that I've done independently, because I was very, very, very curious about that organization in and of itself, because I think that that type of organization needs to exist everywhere, everywhere, and not just for women, for men too, who are being abused. We're all human beings and we all need a push and we all need to be empowered and inspired. And sometimes we are braver and stronger than we think. And that goes for men too. Women are tough as nails, in my opinion. Sometimes they don't know it. Sometimes you've been broken down so far, you don't know it. Very true, Sam. They carry heavy energy through the internet. When CP said all that to Brit, I was shooketh myself literally. I would have absolutely done everything to make sure that he would never ever do that to me again. Never. That should have been reported. That should have been, I don't know if she did. I'm not trying to, shame her for anything. Please, I'm not shading nothing. I'm just saying, if that was me, he would never do that to me again. No, ma'am, no, sir, never. Yes, Mr. and Mrs. E are fantastic people, and Aunt E too. Peace, love, Jeeps. Good to see ya. That would have been a better example of a username. I used. You know? Yeah, yeah, wow, and that word's yeah, uh-huh, uh-huh. Who even thinks of that, Holly, besides a pervy pervert, you know? I don't know how much of that we can say up here. He goes to court way more than a normal person. Always drama around this dude, for sure, Mark. He loves it. He thrives on the drama. He really does. He thinks he's a celebrity or something. Like, we really care about him. We don't. The only reason we give him any type of attention is for Sebastian. Seclusion, I'm praying for you, honey. Yeah, Seth went there. Yes, he did. He went there to represent Sebastian, right? Because nobody likes to think, especially the father of a missing child, that people are trying to forget about his son or not allowing for there to be awareness, right? That's right, Paige. We have to remember that everyone in the community isn't on YouTube to see what all has happened too. Exactly. That's it. We're just a small little, kind of a cult following, right, of these true crime cases. There's a certain following for Summer, guys. If I talk about Summer, there are people that will come in here to listen to me talk about Summer. And it gets my heart when I see those people in here, because I know those are part of Summer's army, right? Who don't want her to be forgotten, who will go and follow and watch whenever anybody's talking about her, you know? I don't know how they can show their faces in that town either, Lori. They're an embarrassment. And they have to know that deep down inside, you know? They are like vultures and parasites. It makes him feel special. Boom. Lisa King says, Mark, I believe he loves the drama, makes him feel special. 100%. Mama Marissa says Seth has so much he could take them to court for, yet he hasn't. Seth has one thing on his mind, and that is Sebastian. Perfectly said. In my opinion, that is what I witnessed. 100%. He doesn't care about any of the other crap. You know, and it would make me upset if I thought that my ex and his wife, right? Because I'm a female, Seth's a male, right? So let's just flip the tables a little bit. But to think that they were trying to disrupt people spreading awareness, it would bother me too, right? So yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, you don't want to leave when, and she goes and changes her number too, Kiki, you know? Aw, get those horses, little Miss Sharon. Indigo says, my son's case has never been on YouTube channel. It would stress me out too much not knowing who is commenting. Seth is strong dealing with strangers' comments, in my opinion. That's really well said, Indigo. Thank you for that insight. And I rely on you guys who have children who are missing to explain these things to me as well. And I agree with that. I agree with that. That's another reason that I didn't allow for Jessica to have to be bombarded by Devlin's adopted family on my channel. I don't want them up here arguing back and forth because I am protecting that. Because we all know how bad it can be. Because I don't want anybody attacking anybody. I just want to find Devlin. And after seeing what happened when we let everybody up on the panel and their raw emotions, that's not fair. And I wouldn't want that either. Thank you, Indigo. Gina says, I personally know the founder of Grace's Place, and she is an incredible story, in my opinion. Yeah, and that's why, and thank you for that, because we don't want to take away from that. Why would we? Especially if we've ever been through that before and didn't have that type of resources, right? Or didn't know that they were available to us. It takes a lot of guts to leave your home and go to a shelter. You know? Mark. Agree, a baby that needs his way and attention. Perfectly said again. Butter Biscuit says, I think Chris only joins channels to flirt with cooters. Oh, hell. Yeah. How anyone would want that man is beyond me. Welcome to Cooterville. Chris will make you want to close your legs. Oh, our smart, keep your legs closed. Yeah, I definitely, yeah, yeah. I just want to throw up when I hear it. I do. I'm like, it's gross. And he's got the little voice crack in there. In my opinion, yes, absolutely. Chris is thriving on the attention, just like a child will act out for attention. Even negative attention is attention, and it's little man syndrome. Yes, we have a definite Napoleon inferiority type of complex going on. Yeah, and he pitches a fit. Exactly, Lisa King. That's it. Hey, Connie. Oh, his words and comments about Brett were terrible. Terrible, terrible. Gray Rockham is right. Neuro V, boom. Gray rocked. And they hate it. Oh, you want to get a narcissist? Just go right ahead and gray rock him. Go no contact and see how crazy they go. And I don't, these people are mentally ill. So they have a personality disorder, in my opinion. So obviously they have issues. So I'm not trying to, taunt somebody who has those type of issues, but at the end of the day, if you really want to get them, they've hurt you bad. Great rock them, you know? Don't let them hoover you back. IML says Brit did nothing to deserve being spoke on like that. That's right. The disrespect, right? She covered Sebastian like anyone, no different, not judging anyone. Well, and that's it. She's allowed to say what she wants to say on her channel. That's it. You know? And he's just a disgusting pig, in my opinion. So he makes me want to vom too. Mama Marissa. Oh yeah, Sam. His energy was heavy on me after that, so I could imagine going through the neighborhood. Oh, when I was coming up on it too, Sam, because first you hit that new building, that new subdivision, and you're like, oh, here we go, right? Here's Victoria Place, and yeah, it hit me. It definitely hit me, and I was like, man, I feel weird, and it's really like I can't even explain it because it's like I've not felt that way before. It's not like if, when you're going to go to a haunted house or something, like, you know what to expect or whatever, like you're trying to be scared, but like this is completely different. This is like that eerie feeling like something bad happened here. It reminds me of when I was younger and I went to this place called Bachelor's Grove, and it was like a big place, like, they've said that they've seen Al Capone's car, like his ghostly car, I'm saying, and stuff like that. So of course, like as kids and stuff, we all loaded up and went out there. It's the same feeling that I got at Bachelor's Grove, when we hit the cemetery. You walk down this long path, right? And then you get to this old cemetery. Um, and we went up there, we went up there quite a few times. Um, the one time I just went booking out of there, guys, because there's that place is definitely, in my opinion, haunted, right? Um, but that's the feeling I got, the same feeling I got at Bachelor's Grove, where some bad shit went down over there. It was very uneasy, sick feeling. So I wonder what Chris wore to court too, Butter Biscuit. I don't know. I will tell you guys if I find out. No, I'm just kidding. I'd like to know for sure. I just know he was running his mouth in true Chris fashion, just yelling at people and being nasty, you know. That's what it is. Seth shows up, Seth puts himself on camera. Every time he comes on a panel, every time he's done a live, he doesn't do an avatar. He puts himself on the panel. He shows himself. In my opinion, Seth has nothing to hide and he hides nothing. In my opinion. Except for when he wouldn't tell me when I asked him a question. But that was because he didn't want to jeopardize anything, you know? And I respect that. No, I didn't see them, Connie. Thank God. I did not want to see them. I mean, you know, and they don't want to see me. They're not going to meet with any type of YouTubers that they actually think are going to try to help them find Sebastian. That's not the point. Chloe even said that. She said that on her own, in her own words. She told that to Elevated Goof. She said, look, they didn't really think that anybody would find Sebastian. They weren't coming on here to find Sebastian. They weren't. They were coming on here to flip the narrative, to push their own crap. Oh, I know. I know. Where is Grandis? Yes. Yep. And the granddaughter. I wish. Sandwich, I wish. Oh man. No, I did not see them, Sam. Nope. Nope. I didn't. Nope, they were not there. And, but Sebastian was. He was on my t-shirt. He was on the back. He was on, you know, uh, Jennifer's t-shirt. He was on, everybody's t-shirt. And I just called Jennifer yelling at her like her mom. But no, he was everywhere. He was there. His presence was there. He was known, and that's why they weren't there, you know? So, hey, Sammy, good to see you. Oh, butter biscuit. In my opinion, Chris's DNA is made up of whatever is growing in Clue's toilet. Oh man, she never cleans that. She never cleans it. Yeah, they had like cockroaches when you flip the lights. Oh Lord, like Joe's apartment. You guys remember that movie? Yeah, I believe that. Someone said Andy Gilly's wife thinks KP is guilty, in my opinion, allegedly. Yeah. I mean, that was my take on things. It was weird because I remember like whenever JLR was in the area and he's like, everybody I asked in town, because he was, he's done this, right? This was literally my first rodeo. Okay. This is not their first rodeo. All these YouTubers, that are way bigger than me and everything. I'm just little. And so I'm like, um, out there just kind of oh, my first time. And so it's I'm not the one to be like going up to people like, what do you think about this? And I mean, I talk to people, don't get me wrong, and stuff like that, but I was more like observing everything. And so and asking some questions, but also just observing and filming and things like that. But it's a little different, right? It's a little different. So um Holly says hard agree. Yeah, and I think from my vibe that I got and from me observing, the majority of people there don't like Chris and Katie, in my opinion, think they're guilty, in my opinion. And I would take that to the bank because that's the truth. That's the feeling. That's the sentiment that I got. And some people did come out and tell me, I think that they're guilty. This is why. I ask people why. It's just like when that one troll came in the chat last night. Well, I think he's staying at Seth's house and Seth has him hiding at his house. I said, why do you think that? They didn't answer back because they have nothing to stand on. They're just typing it in, hitting send. They have nothing to stand on. Hey, Ice, thank you for being, or excuse me, hey, Ace, thank you for being here. Holly S says he's got to be crazy to speak like that on the internet for all the world to hear. I agree. I agree. I feel bad for Bobby too, because her sons don't have nothing to do with it. And they're perpetuating that crap, you know. Oh, thank you, Mama Marissa. Thank you. Yes, exactly. It looked like the green shirt he wore in one interview. Yeah. Yeah. And you're wearing the green. Yes. Oh, a psychic to Bachelor's Grove. Oh, yeah. I had an old picture and I'm sure I have it somewhere. The one day that we went to the cemetery, there was like this flower and it was dead on the top of the grave. It was like one of those, gravestones that was elevated, not, on the ground, like, the plates. And when we developed the film, guys, this is how long ago this was. When we developed the film from that, the flower was red, but it was dead when we were there and we took the picture. That's why that place is creepy as hell. I don't even know, but I mean, we were just kids. Thank you, Holly S. Aw, Sebastian, green hearts for Sebastian and Devlin and all the missing people. That's right. Thank you, Holly S. I mean, and that's that is what it's all about, is finding people, finding out what happened to them. That's why I love Voices of Truth so much. Yes, CC, because they're just interested in fact finding. Let's get to the bottom of this. Let's get to the truth. Nero V, Jonathan Hong, and I have not forgotten about him. I just haven't had a chance to really dive in, because I know once I do, this is the thing, once I dive into a case, it's like it's very difficult for me to focus on everything else, right? Because I'm just trying to understand it. And so I know, and I've been thinking about him too. I haven't had a chance. And he's still missing as well, you know. Yeah, people don't watch YouTube typically, right, Gina? It's like, we're just a small group of people, and we think that like everybody should know, right? And that's why I was so mad at America's Most Wanted. Um, he's always agitated after court. I was, it's funny because I'll be the one to like cry with somebody. I'll be the one to get mad with somebody, and be on their side about it, right? Stick up for them. But it's so funny because certain people, when they cry on the internet and get up there and act a fool and ooh, you guys all know who I'm talking about. I laugh. I laugh my ass off, and I don't ever laugh at somebody, especially if they're crying. But those ones, oh yeah, it cracks me up. You want to be performative. I'll laugh at the clown you're being. And yeah, same goes for Chris. If he gets pissed off, I laugh so hard when he says, I got fucking 13 questions on my polygraph and Katie only got 3. Oh man, I laugh so hard at that every time. I chuckle when I hear him say that. I say, haha, you should have gotten more than that. Aw. I brought my daughter a college car some years ago in Hendersonville. Aw, Cece, that's really special. Yeah, yeah, it's a great thing. Yeah, transplants are great things, and I mean, because it shakes up the area. It really does. I was a transplant that shook up Springfield, Missouri, in my opinion. Sammy says, Lady Freedom, heard Smiley giving you a shout out on Saturday from previous live. Ah, where she was in chat. Oh, that's so sweet. I love Smiley. I was so glad to have her in the chat as well. Oh my gosh, I love when Smiley comes in. She's amazing. She does so much good stuff. Thank you. Happy holidays. She does so much stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, all that's another creator that's fact finding, she's always posting about missing kids. She's always advocating. She's always sharing, you know. Mark says, I agree 100%. Don B was very logical and knowledgeable. We love Don B. He's great, right? He is just great. And I swear, if that was really sweet tea he was drinking, I mean, that's just gold right there. We had Don B on the panel drinking his sweet tea. Oh my goodness. Yeah, he's fantastic. And he's another one that really cares. His coverage on Summer's case, that's another um, person who just so positively represents Tennessee, in my opinion, and I know tons of good people now from Tennessee, and I love that. I love that. I can't help but laugh when he gets so mad. Nancy sounds like he forgot his teeth or something. Oh my gosh! And when he did all that crap talking about BJ and everything, he literally lost his shit up on Clues Live, and nobody talks about it. You know, it's like that didn't turn any of them off at all. It's weird, you know. 13 poor king baby. Hey, Cinderella. He gets some lips going when he's angry. Or excuse me, lisp. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I know Clue definitely has dentures, and I know Cletus definitely doesn't. And he needs some. He needs to get some dentures going. Or maybe steal Clues and wear them or something. I don't know. We used to steal my grandma's teeth and pretend like we were talking with them. My grandma, y'all, not people who are, who should have all their teeth in their head. All right. Well, that wasn't very nice of me, but KP says, who knows? She's simply empty and void of feelings. Well, and that's it. Look at that. Look, I mean, look, Katie's look. I mean, I think she was sedated in this episode of Nancy, but yeah, the internet is forever and zero self-control, Holly. Oh my goodness. Well, guys, I've been up here for a while. I'm gonna hop off of here and get some videos edited tonight and work on some things. I'm gonna get that picture out of us, which would be great. And I'm excited for that. I think Mob Crew is coming on. I just got a notification from Mob Guys live in 30 minutes just now using AI to find missing Sebastian Rogers. Go. That's another person who I love is Chris from the Mob Crew. He's wonderful. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, so let's hop over there, guys. 30 minutes. I'll be listening to my earbuds now. See, I go to edit videos, but I want to listen to what Chris said. I also shared one of his videos as well. You know, working AI. I was onto something with AI. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, like AI is very useful, but it's also something that is not always 100% accurate, but it's useful, I think. Mob is on soon, Neurovi. Oh, fantastic, Chuchi. Fantastic. Oh my God, I can't wait to see it. Um, Makes you wonder if Ellie has Crispy's outbursts on YouTube. Yeah, I think they've been listening to his outburst. I do. I do. And that's one thing I do have a little bit more since Nerdy came out with that and, the warrant and stuff. I'm like, okay, law enforcement's working it. Law enforcement is working it. So shout out to Sasha too, because I think she had called and maybe spoke to Carter. I don't know, guys. I'm not trying to be on one way or another, but I'm also, I just want to sit back and still observe more. I think a lot of things are going to be happening, and I think it's all happening. It's all good. And I think we just need to stay positive. Thank you, Gail, for the green hearts. We just have to be positive. Thank you, Neuro V. Thank you, Blessed. Hashtag Huckleberry. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Holly S. I loved being up here with you guys again. And thank you so much for being patient with me on my trip. I was afraid that my GPS would click off if I was live and then I'd start driving in the wrong direction. So I was super nervous about going live on the road. But as I get better, right, I will be doing more of that, right? Because I do want to plan more trips for awareness. And I absolutely like seeing things for myself. Like that was the coolest for me. One of the coolest parts of the trip was really seeing things for myself. And so oh, thank you, Gail. Yeah, so let's keep on going, guys, and let's just keep the focus on Sebastian. He's who matters. Yes, I feel for Seth. Yes, I think Chris and Katie are most likely guilty, right? In my opinion. But it's about Sebastian. For me, it's always been about Sebastian. I just got a greater look at things while I was there, right? So that's so important. So, oh, Mama Marissa, I love you. No, I know. And I'm like, that was mean. No, that is it. And hey, I would do the veneers or something like that. As we get older, it just happens, right? Um, but I think they're younger than me. Aren't they like Chris and Katie's age? I don't know. I try not to look into people's stuff too much unless they're a suspect. Then I feel like more justified in doing it. Um, Although I did look up Olivia's chronicle of Olivia's age, and she's definitely not a suspect. But I was looking into her because she did the interview, and I was like, "Hey, how old is she, and why is Katie acting so meek?" So, thanks, Holly S, for the green hearts. Oh, thank you, Cece. Oh my goodness, thank you, thank you, thank you. Aw, thanks, Deanna. Thanks, IML. Thank you, Mama Marissa, and please, please, please take good care. And I'm so glad you were here today. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Good night, Kathy. Thank you so much. No shade to people with dentures because I think CP takes them out when drinking. Oh no. I know, and I mean, it's not about even, anything exterior. It's all about the inside, and we've kind of seen who these people are, so that's the thing to consider more so than their outward appearance, right? Is just who they are on the inside, what they stand for, or what they don't stand up for, which in my opinion is, the missing, the kids, the people who really need everybody together. They're dividing things, and it's unfortunate. Um, no, exactly, Gina. Who would want to represent that? Everybody has a right to representation, for a crime committed, but or allegedly committed, right? Innocent till proven guilty. But yeah, I mean, who would want to have him as a client? you know? That would be a tough conversation. It's like, "Will you please follow Katie's lead and be quiet?" Is the first thing I would say to him among a list of other gripes. So, thank you, Sammy. Thank you, thank you. All right, guys, you all take care. I love you, and I will see you later, and I'm hopefully gonna get a video up by tonight.